Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the Sparkling Tuna Cup number 47. I'm, of course, your Slight VIP, and with me, I'm joined by the amazing people in the chat, by these amazing players, and by my plushies, as always. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Ooh, it's been a long week here. A lot has been going on with EPT Spring. Again, ESL Master Spring has been ongoing when it comes to the regionals of Asia, of the Americas, of Europe as well. And not just that, we've had GSL a couple of days ago. We do have the replays. As a reminder, we have the replays for those qualifiers. But now we settle into our weekly open tournament. Open to all regions, open to all players, !B. In the chat, if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves, we have players from Korea, from Europe, from Latin America as well, and Southeast Asia. Players from around the world. They come together here for this tournament. And we're here to bring you the best of the best. The best that we have to offer. Let's go, Papi, let's go. You can hear the beeps. We're loading into our first series. We're loading into a Protoss versus Terran. Before we get ahead of ourselves, a big shout out to Flipper Flapjack in the chat. Flip it, Papi, flip it. Now I want a pancake. But thank you so much for subscribing for 2 months in a row. Thank you so much. Do appreciate it. Gaha, Papi, Gaha. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the casting. Welcome, everyone. Again, if you're unfamiliar, Sparkling Tuna Cup, we've been hosting it, running it for a couple of years now on a semi-regular basis, at times bi-weekly, at other times weekly, and we are here with our first matchup spawning in the bottom right-hand corner. Oh, in the bottom right-hand corner. Oh, as I have to quickly set things up. Okay, we're good to go. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have our red Protoss player from the land of Poland, representing Storm Gaming. It is Geralt. There it is. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the yellow Terran player, currently teamless. It's a good old dear friend. It is Kerwin. It's Kerwin, Papi. Papi. Kerwin, and a longtime supporter from many years ago. Kerwin, he was one of the OGs. And there's a bit of a meme surrounding Kerwin. So back in the day, of course, back in 2017, we started streaming. We started hosting our own tournaments. And I remember Kerwin dropping by. He missed like our first couple. Back in 2017, we hosted amateur tournaments. We hosted bronze to diamond tournaments specifically. And Kerwin would drop by in the chat, and he would, of course, support us and enjoy the content, enjoy the events. Be really grateful that we would host them. And he always wanted to play. He always wanted to play. And one week he finally could play. He was busy at the time that we were hosting it, typically, and he could play. But he promoted. He promoted to Masters, so he could not actually compete in our tournament. He never could. And then, you know, fast forward a couple of months, we introduced another tournament series. We introduced Master Swan Open, which was our event for I believe 4.8 or 4.9k players. So into Masters 2, essentially, into Masters 2. We introduced a new monthly tournament. And Kerwin, by the time we rolled around with our monthly tournament, Kerwin, he actually promoted as well. He was improving quite a lot. He was on that grind set, and he actually could not compete in Master Swan Open either. So there was a bit of a meme for a long time that whenever we introduced a new tournament series, Kerwin, he could never play in it. He could never play, he could never compete. Smoge, puppy Smoge. So, yeah, that was a meme for a very long time. From there, we introduced a regional tournament, which Kerwin also couldn't participate in. But now here we are, many years later, so many years, 7 years later here, and Kerwin can finally play. Of course, he is a big part of the community as well, especially the Terran community. I believe like he's like a mod and a big time viewer of like Thermal and Vindicta and all things Terran. And Kerwin did step away from the game for quite some time, but now he's dipping his toes back in, so I'm happy to see him. I'm happy to cast him. I actually don't think I've ever casted Kerwin. Despite knowing him for 7 years, I don't think I've ever casted him. So yeah, this is a bit of a first for me. A little bit of a first. It is going to be a standard opener overall, getting into our 1-1-1 setup. Racks into factory, into starport. Meanwhile, back at home, Geralt going for his gate expand into a standard build himself. Still yet to determine our tech. There it is. It is good by Twilight Council into Blink Stalkers. Blink is on the horizon for Geralt. As Kerwin moves out, the Adepts, they move in, and ooh, that's going to be a kill on the SCV. Adepts, they shade. They threaten to shade into the main base. We do commit, and more workers going to be going down. Kerwin in a lot of trouble. Forced to pull the boys, and we've lost, what, 4, soon to be 5, soon to be 6 SCVs in the main base. At the same time, Kerwin, he does get across the map, but it's not going to be good enough. GG gets called, and Geralt will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Just a really unfortunate move out there for Kerwin, as he committed everything across the map and he was caught with his pants down. Alas, bled out too many SCVs to those Adepts, and he could not do enough across the map. We had an army, we had enough units. GG. With that, that is going to be game number 1. Again, Kerwin, he stepped away from the game for quite some time. He recently came back, so he's a little bit rusty, a little bit out of practice. He's also against a pro player, one of the best Protoss in Europe, so not an easy series for him, but I'm here for him. You know, he's a near and dear friend. Kerwin is a near and dear friend. Again, I think we've played team games in the past and hang out even outside of just StarCraft, so always there for him. Always there for him, Papi. I'm ready. I'm ready for game 2. Let's go. Can we cause an upset? Can we play out this series? Can we make Geralt work for it? I want to believe. I want to believe. Something that I mentioned as well is that Kerwin, he's, again, a big follower of Euthermal. And, yo, we've all seen Euthermal's builds as of late. A lot of all-ins, a lot of creative styles. I'm curious if Kerwin is willing to dip his hand into that bag of tricks and try to do something crazy against Geralt as well. Let's go. Let us go. Spam this Zeus so Kerwin won't care loose. Oh god. I think he managed to play in 1 MSO before promoting. I think so as well. I think so as well. I think so. And here we go, spawning in the top right-hand corner of Crimson Court. We have our Polish Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Psystorm Gaming, leading the series 1-0. Again, he's been on the rise. It's been hot as of late. Is poised to make a deep run in this tournament. Can he go even further? Can he take this 2-0? It is Geralt. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the yellow Terran player here. Again, a long-time supporter, an old-school friend of the CranKy Ducklings. It is Kerwin. Get a win, Patrick. Get a win. Let's go. Ooh, as we are going for a fake proxy Rax. Okay, Rax has been thrown down elsewhere. When it comes to the skill level of Kerwin, I think he did reach GM. I want to say he reached GM as well, but I don't know if he ever reached the upper echelons of GM, of course. I think hovering around 5k is what I want to say for Kerwin. Actually, you know what? I can just say whatever. You know what? 6k, Poppy. Oh my god, he was amazing. He was the next Clem, the next Maru even. Oh my god. But I believe hovering around 5k, and here we go. We do have, again, what looks to be a proxy here, at least trying to sell the story. I do like this, as Geralt is going to be scouting even deeper into the main base, forcing a big reaction. We have a Zealot first out of Geralt, so he does believe, or he's just getting ready for the worst, as the factory is slightly delayed. Ooh, but does get thrown down. Whew, just barely. Is going to be thrown down in the end. As a probe is just going to be, just posing a bit of a nuisance here. Rax is done. Reaper's on the way. Did we finish the Zealot? We did complete the Zealot just in case. So Kerwin, he forced a bit of inefficiency out of Geralt. So not a bad start for Kerwin. Is likewise being active. Going to shut down the probe. Now that the Reaper has been revealed, Geralt should be aware that he's safe and sound. Should be able to get into his own build of choice. Oh, as that is a second and a third Rax. This is a one base all-in. Yes, it started off with a fake proxy Rax, and again, I love the idea here. Considering the fact that, of course, Kerwin is more of an unknown player, he's, of course, lower skilled compared to Geralt, and I'm sure Geralt's even aware of that he's a favored player. To fake out a proxy, to force an overreaction, and to commit and to deviate into a one base all-in, Geralt, he doesn't see this coming. Not yet. Geralt, he is in the dark behind this, going for a Twilight Council as his take of choice, going to Blink Stalkers. We do have a safety shield battery in the main base, just to keep the mineral line safe and sound. But again, that's a base that we do not need. Or sorry, a shield battery that we don't need. There's nothing threatening that main. Well, the depot is going to be knocked down though. No repairs, no boys being pulled. The Adepts, they get in. And this is why we needed the wall, as we're getting a full scout of the main base. We get eyes on two more Raxes. Big scout from Geralt. He knows it's a one base all in. We needed to deny that scout. Now Geralt, he's fully aware of what's going on. Does focus down another Marine, gets 2 more Marines. And GG, no! Bobby! Kerwin, he knows he got scouted. He's already bleeding out too much. And with that, Geralt will take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here. Oh, I even... Hold on, one moment. I even put the wrong score outside, but there it is. GG, well played. Geralt will take the 2-0. Will advance on into the next round. Congratulations to Geralt. My condolences to Kerwin. Hold on, I need to send him a love heart. Less than 3, puppy, less than 3. GG, well played. And again, it was not an easy opponent. I would say that Geralt is, again, an up-and-coming Protoss player in EU. Kerwin, he's letting me know he was supposed to GG. He won G by accident, Bob. It was an accident. Ah, no. It was an accident. He's letting me know. Hold on. I'll show it here. I'll show it in game. See here. It's a little bit blurry, but he's saying, I promise with all my heart I meant to GG. The single G was a misclick. Ah, no. Not like this. But regardless, Geralt will advance on into the next round. And Kerwin is going to be eliminated from the tournament. Oh boy. Meanwhile, it looks like we have some other updates. And I was just about to say that, at least in my opinion, based on what the performances so far of a player like Geralt throughout the past year, even past over a year now of play, Geralt has been improving a lot. He's been rising through the ranks. I would say that Geralt, he's maybe top 6, maybe top 5 Protoss in EU right now. And something that's interesting is that it's not just Geralt on the rise, Cristiano has been on the rise as well. Let's switch our scenes over and go over the brackets. We can discuss some of the players as well. From the top, we have Dave Litos going up against Optimus in the first round. Winner goes up against Nightmare. Nightmare is the highest rated player in this week's tournament. Nightmare, he's a beast. He is, of course, a Korean Protoss. He is coming in as the one to beat. But fun fact, Nightmare also competed last week, and those of you that were not here last week, for not yourselves, where were you last week? Nightmare did not win. He did not win. It was a best of 5. Last week was a best of 5 finals. Nightmare came 2nd place to Cristiano. And you can see him right down there. Cristiano, he does take down Hatzel 2-0, advancing on into the next round. And Cristiano did take down Nightmare in the ace match. It was a 3-2 in favor of Cristiano. It was a very close series. And I'm sure they're hoping for a rematch. I'm sure that Nightmare wants a rematch, wants to get his revenge here. It goes to show that even though Nightmare is the heavy favorite, and I would say that, I would 100% be behind that. Nightmare is the heavy favorite, but it is not set in stone. There are players here that can compete against him, that can knock him down. I'm talking about Nicorakt, I'm talking about Cristiano, I'm talking about Geralt, I'm talking about many of these players, even Hon Mono, even Rebellion, Rostock, they can all pose a threat. Some more than others, is what I will say. I do think that Nicorakt, Cristiano, and Geralt are the players to put a stop to him. If it's going to be the one, it's going to be one of them. Maybe even Hon Mono, and maybe I'll add him to that kind of list of players. Question is, who's it going to be? Can anyone stop Nightmare? Scrolling down, we have Rostock with a, oh my god, with an update. Rostock 2-0's Rebellion. Very impressive. Very impressive result there. Very impressive feat. Rostock, of course, the Ukrainian Protoss up against the Korean Protoss in Rebellion. Does take down Rebellion 2-0. Very impressive. Rostock waiting for the winner of Nightmare alongside Dave and Droptimus. Scrolling down, we have Nicorakt taking down Nanian 2-0, waiting for the winner of Hon Mono in Eon. And just under them, we have Cristiano, as we mentioned. We have Iba versus Azura, currently mid-series. And Geralt advance on into the next round to face off against Middle VK in a PvP. Of course, Middle VK did take down Gref 2-0. Gref, he is the European cannon rusher. The Ukrainian cannon rusher is a beast in his own right, but he has been knocked out of the tournament. Big win there for Middle VK. And I guess we have our next series. I guess we're going to be following Geralt into Middle VK. Now, part of me would love to cast Azura versus Iba into Cristiano as well, just for some variety. We actually don't really have that much Protoss representation. We don't have that much Protoss representation in today's, sorry, Protoss representation. We don't have that much Zerg representation in today's tournament. We have Eon and we have Iba. That's all the Zerg we have. That's all the Zerg we do have. So I kind of want to catch a Zerg player while I can, because it's a field of Protosses and a handful of Terrans sprinkled in. Again, it's just Iba. I mean, it was Hatsu, but Hatsu got eliminated. Eon as well, but Eon is going to have a hard time against Homono. Wish Eon the best. And you can hear the beeps. We have our next series. Let's go. It's catching up with the chat. Time me out. I don't want people to know that I was watching instead of studying. Este Yaku, papi. Este Yaku. Shaking my head. He was trying to time himself out. Jesus. I'm catching it. How long can we stay in a game in a 100% winning spot without walking across the map and finishing it? Este Shu. Calm down, papi. Calm down. So 1G kids these days. True. But here we go, we're getting into our next game, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alkion, we have our Polish Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Storm Gaming. It is Geralt. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player, also representing Storm Gaming, as they are teammates. It is Mindel VK. And this is going to be a much more competitive match between these two players. I remember Mindel VK did impress me last week as well. Let me just double check. When it comes to the results of Mindel, did he take a game off of Nightmare? What was that result? Mindel VK. I remember he had a pretty good result as of late. But regardless, see how he does compared to Geralt. Geralt coming in as one of the big players to make it at least to the semis, maybe even the grand finals. Can he make it that farther? Can he go all the way? Who knocked Geralt out last week? Let me just double check that. As we're getting into our 2-gate openers, 2-gate opener here by Mindel, 2-gate opener out of Geralt as well. Everything is by the book. And it was Nickrak, right? Yes, okay, so last week, Nickrak took down Geralt. Nickrak did eliminate Geralt 2-1. And then Nickrak got taken out by Cristiano 2-1 as well. Like, there were a lot of ace matches last week. Even Nightmare bled to Art, the Polish Protoss. Even did drop a map there as well. So, yeah, there's been a lot of back and forth, at least in this tournament series, which I do appreciate. A lot of back and forth. We'll see if that trend does continue. For now, it's going to be a Stalker Sentry-based opener out of Mindel VK. Geralt's going for Double Adept. So it's going to be a much more aggressive opener here out of Geralt. With these Adepts, he can move out across the map, and we could be seeing a 3rd and 4th Adept thereafter, even a 5th and 6th Adept as well. Meanwhile, with a Sentry-based opener, it's more defensive. We're more defensive, we're stuck at home. We're going to be going for a Hallucination Scout to get eyes across the map. A much more defensive opener here by Mindel VK, as we're going for a Stargate as well. We're going Adept into Oracle. And we spoke about it. We have 2 Adepts, we have a 3rd and 4th Adept on the way as well. A bit of a supply block here is going to slow down Geralt, so a little bit inefficient, a little bit brutal with that supply block. The Pylon is in production, Oracle soon thereafter as well. Geralt being hyper aggressive here against Mindel VK. Something that I'm not always, again, not always expecting here out of Geralt. That's something he does too often. There's the expansion. Mindel VK with a slightly faster base here instead. Adepts move out across the map. We do catch them though. Very nicely done. Mindel VK, he was lying in wait here at the Zolnaga. Does get 1 Adept. And he almost gets another. Very nicely done. Proxy Pilot being set up across the map as well to harass to warp in. Geralt will get across the map. We'll get eyes on the expansion at least, but won't get eyes on much else. Does confirm it's not a 1-base all-in. You know, Mindel VK does apply some pressure to this base. And what do we have to work with here? We canceled the Adepts, actually. Okay. We are still going for the Oracle, but Geralt, he canceled the Adepts, going into Stalkers. Ooh, bleeding out a lot. Geralt's in a bit of trouble with reinforcing, by the way. Middle VK is doubling down, going for another warp in of Stalkers, applying the pressure. Can he force a cancel? Geralt collapsing on the arm. He does have the higher Stalker count. Comes in with the Oracle. Ooh. Will bleed out another sentry. But does get the Oracle. That's a big win. And now Geralt, he's in a lot of trouble. Things are snowballing out of control. Geralt, he's in a lot of trouble right now. He's down in Stalkers. And Mindle, he's going for another warp in. More reinforcements. And in a game here where we have equal production, how do we ever catch back up? And Geralt, he can't. He can't, not anymore. Yeah, there's just an overwhelming amount of Stalkers here. GG gets called, and Mindle VK takes game number 1. GG. Oh my god. And a lot of that, honestly, was because of the supply block. The supply block delayed the 3rd and 4th units, and Geralt was indecisive. Remember, Geralt, he cancelled his units. He cancelled that Adept even though it was halfway done, which delayed his overall production, delayed his overall army, and he just didn't have enough. Like, that's in a mirror matchup, that's what it comes down to. When you have an equal production to your opponent, if you get supply block, if you get delayed, if you don't make units, and if your opponent does, how do you catch up? How do you catch up in that Stalker count, in that army count? You can't. GG. GG, well played. Just like that, Mindle takes game number 1. And will we have our first upset of the night? Is this the beginning of the end for Geralt? One more loss and he's out of the tournament, and I was not expecting to say those words here. Again, Geralt, he does need to tighten up his play coming into game 2. No more mistakes, no small mistakes like that. Not against Mindle VK, even though Geralt is more of a household name, even though Geralt, he's just more known amongst the people, he's a little bit more accomplished as a player, Mindle VK is not one to be taken lightly. As we see here and now, and spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have our Polish Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Storm Gaming. Down in this series, he needs to fight back here and now. It's a best of 3, by the way. It is Geralt. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player representing Storm Gaming as well. They are teammates, and he is leading the series 1-0. It is Mindle VK. Go. Catching up in the chat. Yeah. Mindle did lose to Eba last week. But there was a result that caught my eye. What result was I thinking of? You know what? I'm going to look it up. I'm going to look it up here. Azura matches. Sorry, not Azura. Mindle VK matches. But yeah, there was a result that had impressed me recently. Maybe it was Mindle VK and Nickrak taking down Miyamaki and Hormono last night. That did happen. True. There we go. It was Sparkling Tuna Cup 45, not 46. So 2 weeks ago, Mindle VK, he 2-0'd Shameless and he brought Geralt to the ace match. That's what I was thinking of. Okay. So yeah, to reiterate or to pivot back to what I was saying earlier about Mindle VK having some impressive results as of late. It wasn't last week, as Eba mentioned in the chat. Last week, Eba did 2-0 Mindle VK in the first round, but 2 weeks ago, in Sparkling Tuna Cup 45, Mindle VK 2-0'd Shameless, which I would say is impressive. I would rate Shameless a little bit higher nowadays. And Mindle VK also forced Geralt into the ace match. Did take a map off of Geralt there as well. So at least in the PvP, oh, and he also 2-0'd Spats. Okay, also 2-0'd Spats. That was last month though. That was a little bit longer ago. That was a couple of weeks ago. But also did 2-0 Spats. So again, I mean, we all know how volatile the PvP matchup can be. True. I do understand that as the probe goes down. But regardless, Mindle, he has it in him to cause upsets. We're taking a game. Can we take another? Behind this expansion has been taken. We're taking our natural base. Meanwhile, we're getting into our Stalker Sentry. Meanwhile, across the map, likewise, a sentry-based opener out of Geralt, something a little bit safer overall, getting into a second sentry behind this for some hallucinated scouts. Interesting, Geralt, he does skip his second unit actually, so he goes sentry into sentry instead of any kind of stalker variation. It does mean that Geralt, he will have a little bit less to work with. He's lacking a stalker. Catching up with the chat. Oh, 1G, 1G. True. It's all Blizzard's fault. I think Geralt was just a little bit upset about that last game, which is understandable. Or maybe he did forget the second G. Possibly. No, I want to believe Carolyn. I want to believe. Behind this, we have our tech. It's going to be Blink for Geralt. Likewise, Blink here from MinnoVK as well. Blink for both players. We have our expansions on the way. And unlike the previous game, things are calming down. We're kind of easing our way here into the 2-base setup in game number 2. No major signs of aggression. We have our first deviation, which is Geralt going for a Forge. So Forge for upgrades, or I imagine +1. We'll have quite an upgrade timing available in the mid-game. It's going to be doubling down on Blink Stalkers. Meanwhile, MinnoVK has avoided any upgrades of the sort. There's something to bear in mind is that Geralt, the quality of his army is soon to get better and better. Hallucination Scout does confirm the Forge, does get eyes on the would-be +1. Third base is on the way. We are primed for a 2-base all-in, by the way. We throw down a Forge of our own. I was going to say, if we throw down like 2 more gateways, we ignore the third, we just go for extra warp bins, and we just push, Geralt would be in a lot of trouble. Because of how heavily he's investing into upgrades, into not his production, but into his economy, there's potential. But Mindle's just going for his own third. Now, what's a little bit worrisome here is that Mindle, his Forge is late compared to his opponents. His third base is later than his opponents as well. It does feel like Mindle, he's reacting to Geralt, but because he's reacting in such a way, he's one step behind. Does seem to be a step behind here, so we'll see how we can make up for that. Looking at the overall army sizes, MinnoVK does have a supply lead. He's up 2 Stalkers. So he does have a slight Stalker lead here that he can try to leverage. The pressure, I'm sure, is on Mindle to push out to try to threaten the third, but we already have a shield battery finishing up. We have force fields available as well. It's not going to be easy. So here we go. Hallucination is moving out. They do pass by each other. So Mindle is going to be checking, confirming the third base, as well as the saturation. Likewise, so is Geralt. Army is moving out on the right-hand side. MinnoVK's army has been spotted. And Geralt does confirm his location. He knows he's out of position. He knows it's here on the left-hand side. And Geralt, he's going for the main. He's going for the kill. Mindle pulls back. Does pull back. We dive into the main base. We do depower the gateways. Ooh, and that is every gateway depowered. The gateway explosion still on the way. Boys, they have to be pulled away. Pretty good damage here by Geralt, and he recalls. 1 Stalker for 2 pylons and delayed warp bins, and we force back the entire army. Worth it. Very well worth it here for Geralt. And behind this, Geralt, he's up in workers. Again, because of the faster third base, he has the better economy. He's working on +2 as we speak. So he has the upgrade lead. And he's also working and building up his own immortal count. Both players are. Now, what I will say, even though I want to say that Geralt has an edge over his opponent, it's not the biggest of edges, right? Like, it's not a massive lead. It's just these slight leads here and there that can snowball out of control and can get out of hand. But Mindle isn't out of this yet. He himself can try to outposition his opponent. Try to catch Geralt off guard. Geralt's going for a 4th base. Mindle going for another gateway explosion. 4 more gates on the way. No +2, by the way. That is interesting to me. There is no +2. Another gateway gets thrown down. Mindle, it looks like he's committing. Yeah, he's cutting workers at 51. No more probes, no more 4th base. Mindle is going for a 3-base all-in. Prism is moving out to reinforce. Stalkers do miss it. Here come those reinforcements. Charge is done, by the way, for middle VK. A very strong timing from him. Does have a comparable army. Shield batteries done. Cannons are done as well. Good force fields. Yeah, we just zoned so much supply away. And the Zealots stay cleaned up. Really good engagement here by Geralt. Just slicing up the army. Base is done. We have an overcharge. If we ever need it. And we may not even. Another good force field. Just making it so awkward to push in. And middle, he's running out of steam. We force field the Immortal. The Immortal goes down. There's that overcharge. Second Immortal has arrived, and Geralt, he's just completely shutting this down. Despite the fact that middle is all in, he's still just struggling to break through. Yeah, Geralt, he's up in army supply. Immortals are being targeted down. We do get one. We get the Prism. The Prism goes down. We deny the warp in. And Geralt holds. He has the upgrade lead. He has +2. Shuts down the Stalkers. He has charge lots. Defender's advantage. Geralt, he's up heavily here in the worker count in the economy. And GG gets called. Geralt ties up the series 1-1. GG. GG, well played. We are tied up 1-1. We are going all the way to the ace match. Let's go, buddy. Let us go. We're going to game number 3. Again, as I mentioned before, it did feel like Mindel was one step behind. Because he was behind, I'm all aboard going for a 3-base all-in the way that he did. But the execution of the defense was impressive by Geralt. The force fields were so on point, just slicing up the army, attacking and engaging with only a portion at a time. Middle VK was picked apart. He was picked apart there, and yeah, just really impressive performance by Geralt in game number 2. And now, we're going to the ace match. We're going all the way to game number 3. I'm just catching up with the chat. Homeowner usually gets 0 Gs from Geralt. Yeah, but Homeowner's an animal. Homeowner is an animal. Este Homeowner. But he's our animal. Let's go. And here we go, we're getting into the ace match, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Dynasty, we have our red Protoss player representing Storm Gaming, tying up the series 1-1, forcing that ace match. It is Geralt. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. Sorry, just messaging Fiant. But spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player, also representing Storm Gaming as they are teammates. It is Mindel VK. I'm catching up in the chat. Fiant. Good morning, Bobby. Good morning. I mentioned before that we are lacking in Zerg players in our tournament. We have an abundance of Protoss and a handful of Terran. When it comes to Zerg, we have, again, we mentioned before, we have Eon, we have Hatsu, and we have Iba here. And, oh boy. Oh my, Eon gets a 2-0? Oh my god, that's huge. I need to message him. That's massive. We'll catch up with the bracket after this. We will eventually catch up with the bracket, but for now, we're focusing on our PvP. We don't want to get too distracted as our probes are moving out. It's going to be a 2-gate opener out of Geralt, a 2-gate opener out of Middle VK as well. So far, mirrored builds, but we are loading into Dynasty, and the biggest feature of Dynasty, of course, is the gold base. Now, in a PvP, we have seen very few players attempt to expand here. Even though the gold is lucrative in certain matchups, it's very tempting, specifically in a PvP because of your access to adepts and stalkers. You can't take this. You can't take it as a natural, at least. You can maybe take it as a 4th, maybe as a 3rd base, but you need map control. You need a map presence here to take it. Otherwise, you're just going to be abused by your opponent, and you won't be able to get this base mining. There have been some Protoss players that have attempted to take this as a natural, this gold as a natural, and we've seen them fail. We have seen them fail, and that's why you can see both Middle VK and Geralt moving towards their standard natural base location. So this is a bit of a PSA out there. Depending on the matchup, don't be too tempted. Stray away from the goal base because it can be your downfall. It can be so difficult to actually make use of. What I'm referring to specifically, we can see a lot of Protoss and Terran players freely take this base against Zerg. Reason why is because Ling Bane can't really do anything here. You need to tech up quickly into Roaches if you want to abuse this position, and that's a pretty big commitment, and it's hard to really get Roaches going too early on. So against Zerg players, Terran and Protoss can expand here as freely as they please. Against each other, though, that's a different story. Hallucinations are moving out. Expansions are being taken. Was a sentry-based opener once again from Geralt. Likewise, a sentry-based opener out of Mindle VK is focusing on Stalker production behind this. It was just Stalker Sentry. Hallucination confirms the tech. Confirms... Oh my god! Okay. I freaked out for a moment. I was like, what's going on? Blink is on the way, as it should be. Blink from both players. Hallucinations were trying to shut them down. I don't know if you saw, for a moment there, we had Glaives in production. That was wild. I was like, oh my, he's going for an all-in. Glaive Adepts are not unheard of in PvP, but usually if you go for Glaive Adepts, it's for an all-in. It's just double down and just commit. Just because Glaive Adepts don't scale well into the mid-game, it's a little bit more short-sighted. But alas, we're now focusing on Blink. Meanwhile, Mindle VK going for a proxy gateway. Interesting. How many gateways do we have? 2 and 2, so 4 gates set up from both players. Bearing in mind as well that Geralt usually goes for a third base before this gateway explosion. Because these gateways have been thrown down, Geralt, he has an even production with Mindle VK. So even if Mindle VK moves out with this reinforcement point, Geralt has enough to shut him down, and he gets eyes on this. He scouts, he confirms. Geralt, he does confirm. Behind this, we have a shield battery, we have an overcharge, second pylon on the way. I imagine maybe even another shield battery. Geralt, he's amassing an army. He's getting ready for the assault. He knows it's coming. But knowing is half the battle. Looking at the unit tab here, we have 10 Stalkers from Mindle VK. We have 7 from Geralt. We dive in. We go for the dive. We get 1 Stalker. Overcharge is going to be popped. Oh, and we are surviving. Good blinks here to Geralt. He's holding. He tanks so many shots there, avoids so many as well. And Geralt forces back the army. We'll bleed out a sentry or 2, but that's really all he's losing. And Mindle VK is not gonna be able to break this. He's not breaking this position. And Geralt takes a third. Mindle should be as well. He's trying to double down, going for another warp in. Mindle catching out some Stalkers. Good pickups. 1 Stalker, 2 Stalkers go down. Good target firing. Another Stalker as well. And as Geralt is expanding, is he caught with his pants down? Not quite. Mindle not able to break through, just barely. Going for another warp in. Again, Mindle, he's all in. Like, there's no more warp. He hasn't saturated his natural. There is no expanding. There is no taking a third base. It's all or nothing here. The longer this goes on, the better it is for Geralt. Leads out more Stalkers. Again, we're so close to breaking through. We have the overcharge. Good blinks out of Geralt. We dive on top of the army. We're down to 3 Stalkers. Sorry, down to 4. Now up to 6. And Geralt, he's holding on. There's no breaking this, not anymore. And again, Mindle has nothing back at home to work with. Mindle, he's trying to commit. He has to. Goes for another big warp here. That's 11 Stalkers. Does Mindle have enough? The Immortal's on the way. That's the problem right now. The Immortal is on the way. Mindle, we gotta keep going. You gotta keep pushing, Pat. Gets another Stalker. Gets a couple of probes. We're just buying time, though. Geralt, he's just buying time for the Immortal. The Immortal has arrived. And the Immortal is going to town on this army. We're just chunking away at these Stalkers. We do try to focus it down. We get the Immortal. But it costs us so much. It costs us too much. As Mindle, he loses his Stalker lead. And again, time is on Geralt's side. GG gets called. He defends. He holds. He survives the all-in. And Geralt will take a 2-1 win here and advance on to the semi-finals. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Geralt for surviving the all-in. Mindel, unfortunately, just unable to make the first dive worth it. If you remember, the first dive for Mindel was arguably the most important dive, and because of the overcharge, because of the counter blinks, Geralt, I think he soaked like 3 or 4 volleys. 3 or 4 volleys of Stalkers. They did nothing, essentially, because of his blink, because of the overcharge, and yeah, Mindel, he was stopped before he could really get going. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here. Congratulations to Geralt as he does advance on. And now we can take a moment here to have a look at the brackets. Exclamation mark B. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. Ooh, let us switch our scenes over. Have a gander. From the top. From the very top here we have... let's actually... scroll this over a little bit. Okay, we have Droptimus taking down Dave Latos 2-0. Big shout to Dave Latos. He has been much more active as of late, competing in tournaments, so I do wish him the best. Thank you so much for competing, and I hope that you enjoyed yourself. Hope to see you in some more amateur events in the near future. As Droptimus does advance on into the next round, Droptimus does meet his end at the hands of Nightmare. We spoke about it. Nightmare is the big name. He is the big favored player here, looking to take the entire tournament. But as we mentioned before, he was unsuccessful last week. Can he be stopped? Rostock is the first of the pro players to step up in his path. Best of luck to Rostock here. Again, Nightmare is going to be the heavy favorite. Scrolling down, Nikrak 2-0'd Nanian, Eon 2-0'd Honmono. Eon, he is a Costa Rican Zerg player, and what's impressive here, let's have a look. US East. What time is it for Eon? That's what I want to know. I think it's like 5 a.m. It's almost 6 a.m. in the morning. 6 a.m. Eon, he's a proper degen, but we love him. Because Eon, he's one of the few from the Americas that has stayed up until 5 a.m. to compete in this tournament. It's now 6 a.m. We're an hour into the tournament. And Eon 2-0's Honmono. Very impressive. If you're unfamiliar, Eon, he's the best player in all of Costa Rica. He's a top tier, I would say a pretty top tier Zerg player in Latin America. And he's very cheesy. Very cheesy, very wild, very aggressive. I would say currently he's probably the cheesiest player in Latin America. I don't know if I would say that, just because of Eric. You know, Eric's very special and near and dear to my heart. But Eon, he's up there. He's a very aggressive Zerg player. Very aggressive, very cheesy. And yeah, for Eon to take down Honmono 2-0, that's wild. I'm very impressed. Very impressed. I would have loved to have seen it. I would love to know what happened there, because I guarantee you, those were not standard games. I guarantee those were some clown fiestas, papi. You know, both Eon and Honmono, they have the red nose, the rubber red nose, you know, ready to put on at a moment's notice. They were born in it, molded by it. Ah, the fiesta, papi. So, congratulations to Eon. He's up against Nikrak in the next round. And I'll be honest, if Eon can 2-0 Honmono, Eon, he can make some magic happen against Nikrak. Nikrak is the favored player, but Eon is a wild card. Anything could happen there. You know, just the finest, the smelliest of cheese can be whipped out, and I don't know if Nikrak can survive that. We'll see. Best of luck. Best of luck to both players. It's going to be a fun time, I'm sure. Scrolling down, Cristiano is waiting for his next series, waiting for Iba versus Azura. If you're in the chat, you would have seen Iba. He's been popping in between games. He's been popping in, so it does look like Iba is... Well, he's been giving us some updates, and he's in the ace match. We don't know what's been happening, but he's in the ace match against Azura, and we're all going to be waiting. Because just underneath them, we've had all of our series. Geralt, he's waiting in the lower semifinals, and Geralt is going to have to wait for some time. He's going to have to wait a little bit longer here for his next opponent, as a round 1 match is still ongoing. So, yeah, I guess we're going to be waiting. Current plan for the stream is we're going to wait for Iba and Azura to finish, then we'll cast them against Cristiano, then we'll follow that into Geralt. That'll be our first semifinals, and then we'll cast the upper semifinals thereafter. and then the grand finals, of course. Can I like make this a little bit nicer? Hold on. There we go. There we go. Now you can see the finals. We're getting there. We're getting there, Pappy. Okay. Just moving the bracket around. But yeah, I guess we have a little bit of downtime. We have a little bit of downtime here to wait for our players. Let's catch up in the chat. Let us catch up in the chat. All right, I was gonna talk about Fiant. I was talking about how we have very few Zerg players in today's tournament. We have 2 notables, and Fiant apparently has been playing Protoss. What's with these young Zerg players? They're all tempted by the Protoss. Eba and Fiant, they've been off racing a lot. Smurge, baby, Smurge. My heart bleeds. What is Zerg? I haven't seen the latest patch notes. Oh, they're gone, baby, they're gone. Eon is still playing. Last time I saw him was in 2019. Eon was a lot more active back in like the COVID era of StarCraft. I would say 2020, 2021. Eon did take a step back from the game. I think he like pseudo retired in 2022 and 2023. Like Eon just kind of stepped away quite a bit, and yeah, he's come back. He's a little bit more active than he was a couple of months ago. So it's great to see him. Does stream from time to time as well. Much love here to Eon. Much love. Ooh, and we have an update here. We have an update. Oh my god. Eva. Just like on Monday. Eva was messaging me. He's like, mate, you think that I was typing in Twitch chat in between games? During games, Papi, during games. He's an animal, Papi, he's an animal. But we just got an update. This just in, Eva has taken down Azura 2-1. And up next, it is going to be Eva versus Cristiano in a best of 3. Oh, hold on. Fix it. There we go. We'll fix up the scoreline. But we have our next series. It is going to be Eba versus Cristiano in a Zerg versus Protoss matchup. I do know how much Eba does love playing against Protoss. He loves it, Bobby. He loves it. Can't get enough of it. And that's what we're casting next. That is up next here on the channel. Let's go. At one pro, but the natural has a lot of responsibilities in his shoulders. But I think he's up to it. He was, Pappy, he was. But yes, for now, we're going to be going on a short break. Going to be going on a very short break here. When we return, we will have our next series. We will have Eba versus Cristiano. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our third match of the night. We are settling into our final quarterfinals match, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our red Polish Protoss, a player representing Starlight Twinkle. It is Christianer. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, I'm never going to be able to cast a Zerg player. I'd say it's never going to happen. Fiant has left us, he's playing Protoss, and here we have an ex-Zerg player rolling and picking Protoss for this series, representing the Platinum Heroes from the land of the UK. It is Eva. Aye. Let's go, Bobby, let's go. Now, for those who are maybe unaware, Eba, he has been off-racing a lot as of late, and as it usually is with a lot of players that do decide to off-race, Eba, he has been typically playing Protoss against other Zerg players to avoid the ZVZ mirror matchup. That's usually the case for Eba, but Eba does not enjoy the ZVP dynamic either. He doesn't like the only thing he likes about Zerg is ZVT. He only likes Zerg versus Terran, and he does want to avoid ZVP. Instead, we have a PvP mirror matchup. Let's go, Bobby, let's go. Not the first time we've seen Eba in a Protoss versus Protoss. We have seen Eba take maps off of these big names. Was it against Geralt or Christianer? I think it was maybe against Christianer. We casted Eba take a game, which was impressive. Very impressive stuff. Can he do it again? Can he do even more than that? As Christianer is setting up for a proxy. Looks like it's going to be a committed proxy. I'm feeling a Stargate, but we'll see. Pylon is finishing up. Waiting for the Cybercore to complete before we commit. It's going to be a 2-gate opener from Christianer. 2 gateways here by Eba. Cybercore is finishing, and show us the Stargate. Or, ooh, the Robo. 1 base all in. We're doubling down. It's going to be a 1 base all in here by Christianer. Now, Eba doesn't really cheese too much in this matchup. Whenever we cast him in PvPs, we've seen Eba go into something more aggressive, more economic focused, to rush into a natural, into a third base, into a booming economy, and he flexes with his Blinkstalkers. Honestly, like, Eba has really good Blinkstalker control. Like, his Blinkstalker micro is really damn good. But can he get there? Because right now he's scouting, he's scouring the map as we speak. He confirms the pylon is missing, and he will come across the proxy. Big scout here by Eba. He does confirm the Robo. So Eba knows what's going on. Behind this, went for a Stargate. With the Stargate, we can go Oracle first into Void Ray, or just Void Ray first instead. Eba has options. A second pylon on the way, or another pylon here in the main base. Robo thrown down. This is going to be for Immortal production, which means we are going to need Void Rays. Yeah, shield batteries being thrown down. We're getting ready for the defense. We're preparing for the all-in. And Christianer's doubling down. Going for the War Prism first. Okay, Prism is on the way. What unit first out of this Stargate? That's what I want to know. Do we risk it with the Oracle, or do we go for the Void Ray? Oh, we're going for a Phoenix. Okay. Phoenix first out of Eba. Bold move, but this will be able to shut down the Prism and even CC a Proxy Immortal. True. Does have less DPS available compared to a Void Ray. It's a reality. More Phoenixes are being amassed. Christianer looking to push his way in. Does chip away at the gateways. Does have high ground. Does have that high ground vision. Phoenix dives in. We shut down one of the Stalkers. But we at least try to. Yeah, one Stalker goes down. The Prism does manage to get a warp in. Oh, and Eba is being overwhelmed. 2 Stalkers go down. Christianer snowballing out of control. We do not have Blink. We can't dive into the main, but we do deny it. We do at least get on top of that gateway. Very nice juggling here by Christianer. And yeah, going Phoenix like this, we were hoping for Immortals. We were hoping that Christianer was going Immortal, but that's not the case. And now Eba, he is struggling. Did overextend it earlier. Overcharge is popped. The gateway, it's going to go down. Ooh, we bleed out a gateway. Let's see Christianer forcing his way in. He can one-shot Stalkers. Oh my god. 2 Stalkers go down instantly. Boys are being pulled. The Phoenix is going to be falling as well. The Immortal has arrived, but is one Immortal enough? It doesn't look like it. Yeah, just not enough DPS, not enough firepower here with that one Immortal. GG gets called, and Christianer will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG. A solid game there out of Cristiano. Again, Iba, he did confirm the proxy. Did get... did confirm the proxy, did get eyes on it. He was getting ready back at home. And, so just messaging in the chat. We are going to be settling into our next game here as we get ready for game number 2. Cristiano does have a 1-0 lead. And I wonder, what do we have in store for us here in game number 2? What map do we have? And how do we come back in this PvP? Game 2 is going to be on Ghost River. Oh my god. Let's go. Also, apparently Iba is letting us know that he wanted to cancel the Robo. So, even though I assumed that it was going for the Robo for Immortal Production, which he did end up making use of, Iba apparently intended to cancel that Robo and invest elsewhere. Oh my god, wait, what? And here we go, we're getting into our next game and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ghost River. We have our Polish Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Starlight Twinkle. It is Cristiano. Leading the series 1-0 and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, top right-hand corner of Ghost River. We have his opponent. We have from the land of the UK, from the land of England, the Blue Protoss, representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Iba. Iba. Aye, aye, aye. Here we go. The PvP continues. And we'll see if Iba can bounce back. Can he bring it back here against Cristiano? Cristiano once again moving up the probe very early on. And are we setting up another proxy? It looks like we are. Yeah, we head here towards the south instead. Tuna. See the chat. What is this fish cup? It's a tuna, Bobby. It's a tuna. As Cristiano, he does move out here towards the bottom right. He does keep that probe hidden. And we're waiting for that pylon. Waiting for that proxy. Back at home, it's a 2-gate opener here out of Cristiano. Likewise, 2-gate opener out of Iba as well. 2-gate openers all around. There's our proxy pylon. It looks like it's only going to be a fake proxy pylon by Cristiano. He's going in for the scout, trying to force an overreaction from Iba. We go. As for now, Iba, yeah, he's forced to fan out his probes. He's looking for the proxy. He knows that the pylon is missing. He knows that there's something out of the map. Is it real or is it fake? After what just happened in game 1, we have to take this seriously. And Iba, it looks like he will he come across the pylon? Oh, it's gonna be close. Oh, it's gonna be close. It looks like he should graze it. He should be able. Oh, never mind. Never mind. I thought he would get a little bit closer to that pylon. Alas, he does not. And Iba is gonna be in the dark. He's looking for that pylon, looking for the proxy. Behind this, setting up for his 2-gate opener into his expansion. Nexus on the way for Cristiano. And Iba yet to throw down his own. There we go. Just a couple of seconds later, has his own Nexus on the way. As Iba is still scouring the map, Hallucination Scout coming in. Iba will confirm the expansion, so even though Iba hasn't seen the pylon, he knows that there is no one base all in. He knows that there's nothing really too crazy going on, and that Cristiano is transitioning into the mid game. We're easing our way in. Robo's on the way. Iba likewise with his own. The Robo is going to be a much more defensive way to open up. It gives you access to early game Immortals, to the War Prism, to, of course, Micro, to have a more defensive Blink available. It does mean that its Blink is going to be delayed for both players. We have a little bit less versatility with our armies. but more robust. As the first Immortal is on the way for Cristiano, we should be seeing the same from Eva. Ooh, going for the Prism first instead. Okay, you have my attention. You have my attention here. Warp Prism is on the way. And with this, we can harass across the map, we can warp in the depths, get into mineral lines, we can avoid the ramp. There is a little harassment potential available here for Eva, as the Hallucination does confirm the Immortal. And Cristiano is getting ready for his push. That's a lot of sentries, that's a lot of firepower. Ooh, and as Cristiano moves out, Eva likewise moves out with his own army, with his own sentries. It is quite a bit risky here. As we come across the prism, no! The prism! Oh, it takes a lot of hits. Does sustain a lot of damage, but Eva, he does react in time. He does pull back. No! A little bit of miscontrol, though. A little bit of mispathing. One more volley is all we need. And the prism will barely escape. Oh, my God! Down to 5 HP. Barely escapes with all the sentries. Gets back home. But Cristiano, he's not done. Not even close. He has his own Warp Prism. He's pushing in. Good sentries. Good force fields from both sides. And good juggling coming in. We save those sentries. Once again being thrown down. So far, the juggling is solid. Our players, they barely lose anything. Cristiano forcing his way in, diving onto the shield battery. Will focus it down, but it does buy a lot of time. Yeah, and it looks like Cristiano, maybe he's overextended. Did get the shield battery, but at what cost? He loses everything. Oh my God. The sentries go down, the adepts go down. We do survive with the Immortal, but that was not worth it for Cristiano. Not worth it whatsoever. He's trying to find another way in, but Eva's in position. Eva is in position, going for a third base. Cristiano forced to turn everything back around. And now we need to take a moment here to take stock. Okay, so Cristiano just harassing while he can. Twilight Council's on the way. It's almost done for Eva. Should get into Blink. Meanwhile, Cristiano, his own Twilight Council just now started. Cristiano playing with fire. He wants the third base. The third gets low, but it is not cancelled. Meanwhile, across the map, Eva, he does go for a sentry drop. Oh my God. Good force fields. The sentry drop, we get 6 probe kills across the map. Very nicely done here by Eva. As a reminder, sentries do bonus damage nowadays to shield-based units. That includes probes. So harassing sentries does make sense. Meanwhile, adepts say shade into the natural base. Eva, he's out of position. Ooh, he's heavily out of position. Boys are going down. Probes are falling from both sides, both from Cristiano and Eva. Eva bleeding out 15 probes. But the prism goes down. Meanwhile, Cristiano bleeding out 12 across the map. The prism will escape. Both players are hurting. Cristiano, in a desperate move, goes for a hidden third. Goes for a ninja base. Ninja third base is on the way. It makes sense if we had a standard third base, then Eva would deny it 100%. He would deny that Nexus. Eva is pulling back. Eva, he does confirm that there is no third base yet, so he might be believing that it's going to be a 2-base all-in. That's the goal for Cristiano, to kind of scare Eva into being defensive. Meanwhile, Cristiano building up his Immortal counts. Soon to be working on a higher form of tech. Not quite Blink yet, going for a Dark Shrine instead. Went behind Dark Shrine. Cristiano is still in this. Still has that hidden base. When are you signing up for Tuna Cup? As Eva, he does push out. Once again, he's getting eyes on the third base. As a reminder, on this map, there's only one third base that you can expand to. Like, the expansion pattern is quite linear here, so Eva checks, confirms that nothing's there, pushing in. Meanwhile, Cristiano is getting that base up and running. Eva trying to force his way in. So far, good force fields from both sides. Overcharge is popped. The Immortals, they stand strong. Cristiano holds. He does hold for now. At the same time, Adepts, they get across the map. Getting into a mineral line. 3 probe kills so far. Oh. That's okay. We know we get 3 probes. We force back the army. Again, Eba, he turns back around and he still does not know that that's a full 3rd base up and running here for Cristiano. Now, I'm not saying that Cristiano's ahead economically. Not at all. But Eba's not in as good of a position that he thinks he is. Prison does get out across the map. Yeah, we have those Arc Templar. But we have cannons in position. Yeah, we have cannons in the main. Cannons in the natural. The Adept drop gets into the mineral line here of Cristiano. Oh. Ooh. Prism is sniped. Finally, it goes down. That's the same Prism that got very low earlier. As Eva's moving out once again, we have a 4th on the way for Cristiano. Eva, I'm sure, is going to be hoping to deny it. DTs are still trying to threaten the bases of Eva. Eva does rotate around. Does deny that Nexus. Good force fields. Oh, we do catch an Immortal. Immortal goes down. Eba, he maintains his lead. We have a 4th base on the way for Eba. He's maintaining that economic lead, even with Cristiano getting a base up. Doesn't even matter. It's still too far behind. See Cristiano trying to get ready for an Adept counterattack. Doing what he can. They do shade in. They do find a couple of probes. Not bad. 3, 4 probes going down. And with that, we're evening up the worker counts. It's going to be 5 dead workers. We deny some mining time as well. But Cristiano does need an expansion. He does need another base to keep up. Really good kiting. We shut down the Zealots. Not the biggest of pickoffs, but, you know, efficient trade nonetheless. The Adepts are finally cleaned up. And now we need to take a moment here to have a look at the army sizes, as Eba has an overwhelming army here. We have Disruptors. They have arrived. Never goes up. Ooh. Gets a Sentry, gets a Stalker. Force fields are thrown down. Eba has just an overwhelming robot army, but he can't get in. Jesus, we just cover the entire map here in force fields. No way to push in. But they are running out. Running out of force fields. Eba now with a 40 supply lead, forcing his way up the ramp, and Cristiano, he just cannot recover. Too much of a loss early on. Cristiano taking bottom right. Let's go. Taking another ninja base. The problem right now is that Cristiano needs time. He needs a lot of time, and Eba should not give him that time. Disruptor gets targeted down. Nova goes off. Big connection. Oh my god. The blink a little bit too late. We dive on top of the Archons. We focus them down one after the other. The Immortals are exposed. There is no Prism. There is no Micro. No way to juggle these units. GG gets called, and Eba fights back, tying up the series 1-1. GG. We tie things up, and we are going to the ace match. Ooh, meanwhile, we do force the ace match here. As a reminder, the winner of this series advances on to the semifinals to face off against Geralt in the next round. Meanwhile, I have another update. It looks like we do have the upper semis ready. We will most likely be, from this series, be going into the upper semifinals, just because they're ready for us. just because they are prepared. That is going to be the most likely outcome. Here we go. We're getting into game number 3. Número 3. It all ends here. It all ends on Alcyone. PvP is kind of the main theme of weekly cups. Ever thought of tuna show matches with extinct matches like ZVZ? Estes Nogstar. Come play in our tournaments, papi. Play in our tournaments. Coffee, greater than playing ZVP in the morning. Smurge. I mean, playing ZVP in the evening is similarly unpleasant. Anytime, papi. Anytime. Smurge. But here we go. We're getting into the ace match, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alcyone, we have our Polish Protoss player, the red Protoss, representing Star Light Twinkle. It is Cristiano. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player from the land of the UK, representing Platinum Heroes. It is Eva. Usually he is Zerg, but this series he's playing as Protoss. He's not too confident in his ZVP, not against Cristiano, but he is confident in his PvP. For good reason. I mean, hey, we forced the ace match. And the reason why I laughed earlier, Iwa did message me after the game. He's like, yo, PvP, it's so easy, papi. Yeah, Iwa confident with his Protoss versus Protoss. More confident than his Zerg, and we'll see if that confidence is enough to win in this series. Is this going to be enough? As Cristiano is moving out for probe scouts, does confirm the 2-gate opener from Eva. Likewise, 2-gate opener out of Cristiano as well. We're leading into Alcyone. Again, is a much larger macro-oriented map, much more. We're leading towards and akin to longer and later games. As we're just trying to keep an eye on each other. Eba going for a Zealot Sentry opener. Okay, a little bit greedier out of Eba. He's going to be saving some gas, looking to expand a lot faster instead. May even cancel that Zealot. Meanwhile, double Adept opener out of Cristiano. Okay. Keeping that aggression up. So we are going to be moving out. It is going to be a tech first from Cristiano, going for that Stargate. Meanwhile, Eba going for the expansion. And Eba did cancel that Zealot. So again, a very greedy, very economic build here by Eba to go for a single sentry, cancel the Zealot, go for a faster expansion. It does mean that Cristiano has more firepower. He has more DPS or damage output available. Does shade in. Ooh, we do miss that. We missed the pylon. I'd have to say shade into the main base. Probes are going down. We get one. We get one probe so far. Can we get another? We can. 2 probes. Can we get a third? Ooh, barely not. 2 probes to 2 adepts. Pretty even trade so far. If not a better trade for Eba. But we're not stopping. We have more adepts on the way, and we have the Oracle. So adept and Oracle aggression here from Cristiano. He's moving out. He's not done. And Eba once again out of position with the block. We don't commit. Not this time. We don't commit into the main base. We're just going to be chilling outside. Twilight Council on the way for Blink. Natural base being taken. Natural base is being taken as we do manage to back off. Oh! Good target firing at Eba. Oracle's going in. Stalkers are pulled out of position. And what is there in the main base? Ah, there's plenty. The Stalkers, they pull back in time. We have sentries in the main mineral line as well. And the Oracle does no damage. So far. As we're going up to 2 Oracles. Now, as a reminder, 2 Oracles, 1-shot probes. So even if you have units in position, damage is going to be done. There's a lot more potential here in 2 Oracles. Adepts are going to try and distract those Stalkers, and we're coming in. Good target firing at Eva. Does zone away those Oracles, does focus on one of those Adepts, and we'll get the other. 2 Adepts with 2 probes. Still, I would say, a better trade for Eva here. It does minimize his losses. The Oracles still don't get in. Still don't quite get in, but they're at least keeping Eva pinned back. Third base soon going to be on the way here for Cristiano. Doesn't get a probe. He wants it. Oh! Oh my god. Baits out the Pulsar Beam. Eva, calm down. Going for the third. Oracle's rotating into the main. Pretty good run by here as we do focus on 4 probes. Not bad. Getting a 5th probe as well. 5 probes for 1 Oracle. Not the best trade here for Cristiano, but he at least gets some damage done. Behind this, building up his own 3rd base, getting into Blink, getting into his Blink Stalkers. Eba doing the same. A little bit delayed though when it comes to his Blink timing. And we see why. We might have later Blink, but we have Immortals on the way. Okay. Immortals are building up, but Cristiano, he does catch Eva out of position. Can we deny that 3rd? We're going for the army. Oh my god. We ignore the 3rd base. We focus on 2 of those Stalkers. We get a 3rd Stalker as well. Remember, Blink is not done for Eva. We are abusing that. Get a sentry. Almost another. And getting 2 more Stalkers here. Cristiano just out trading Eva, pulling him apart. Eva just need a little bit more time. There we go. Blink is now finally done. As we dive on the army, leading out more Stalkers. Yeah, that's going to be 6 dead Stalkers for Eva, 2 for Cristiano. At the same time, Oracle gets into the main. Shield battery is out of energy. We get more probe kills. Get a couple more probe kills here as Cristiano backs off. Cristiano backs off, gets a 4th. Stalker's pulling back, and Eva, he's going for Glaives and a Gateway Explosion. Let's go! I like this. I think Eva's aware that he's been out-traded. I think Eva, he's aware that he's been bleeding out a lot of Stalkers, and he's been having a hard time keeping up with the aggression of Cristiano. Shout out to Cristiano, by the way, getting a lot done and getting ahead. Cristiano, he does have the economic lead, soon to be the army lead as well. And this looks like a 3-base all-in from the likes of Eva. He's going up to 8 gateways. It's going to be a 3-base 8-gate all-in with Glaive Adepts. Building up those Immortals. We're ignoring upgrades. Now, by the time Eva hits, Cristiano will have +1. +1 is finishing. Charge is going to be finishing as well, so it's going to be a lot to overcome. Unless Cristiano is too greedy, unless Cristiano probes up too much, then Cristiano should have enough to defend, but we'll see. It's also going to come down to the angle of attack, to the army positioning. As Cristiano is pushing, as Eva's getting ready for his own all-in. So here we go. Eva, he's committed. Moving out with everything he has. Warp Prism is on the way. At the same time, Cristiano trying to come in from behind, catching reinforcements. Ooh, and can Cristiano get his hands on that Warp Prism? We turn back around, collapsing on the army. Adepts are caught out. Prism does manage to get away. But we bleed out even more Adepts. Oof. That's a lot of pickoffs. Really good positioning out of Cristiano. And Eva is being shut down before it could really get going. Yeah, we have so much an overwhelming Zealot army. Oh my god, we collapse here on Eva. Where the force feels non-existent. Yeah, we collapse on the army, focus on the Warp Prism. And Eva, he almost has nothing left. Completely surrounded, completely engulfed here. GG gets called, and Cristiano will advance on into the semifinals. GG. GG. Congratulations to Cristiano as he does advance on into those semis. But a shout out to Eva for not just forcing an ace match, not just fighting hard against Cristiano, but also for doing it with his Protoss. Very impressive. Very impressive stuff. We'll cast up. So very impressive stuff there by Eva. I've seen your macro. But yeah, GG, well played. Congratulations to Cristiano. My condolences to Eva, but again, it was a good showing, and now he can get some food. Now he can get some breakfast. I'm sure he's looking forward to it. Oh, as we are going to be getting into our next series, it's going to be the upper semifinals. I did gloss over it, but exclamation mark B in the chat. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. Ooh, let us switch on over. Ready for the upper. We're ready for the upper semifinals. Let's go. From the top here, we have some updates. Nightmare did take down Rostock, but remember, I spoke about how Rostock was going to be the first to really challenge Nightmare, and Rostock does take a map off of Nightmare. Very impressive. I'm a little bit in shock, not gonna lie, you know. I was kind of hyping Rostock up, knowing that, you know, again, Nightmare is a heavy favorite, but for Rostock to force an ace match against Nightmare, impressive. Very impressive stuff. Especially considering the history and what Nightmare is known for. Like, he has some of the best PvP in South Korea. So for Rostock to take a game, overall, a very impressive play there. We are ready. Just messaging some players. But yeah, very impressive stuff. Meanwhile, Nickeract took down Eon 2-0. We have our upper semifinals. We are diving on in. It is going to be Nickeract versus Nightmare. I should also message some of the other players as well, very quickly. But just letting the players know that we are good to go, and there it is. We have, for the first time, it's not a PvP. Oh my god. I mean, we started the day with Geld versus Kerwin at least, which was a Protoss versus Terran, but we're back. We're back with the Protoss versus Terran, and we saw that Nightmare is not untouchable. We saw that Nightmare, he can bleed. He does bleed against Protoss in PvPs. But what about against Terran? Can we fight back? Can we make a series out of this? As spawning in the top right hand corner of Ghost River, we have our red Terran player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Nickeract. Hold on. And spawning in the top left. Oh, in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Terran player representing himself, currently teamless. It is Nightmare. Here we go. And we do see Nickeract, oh, getting a kill on the probe already. Oh my god. Something that I was not quite ready for, but okay, yeah, my attention. It is going to be a nice start for Nickeract, getting a kill on the probe, going for a double gas immediately behind this. Looks like it's going to be a double gas opener into a faster factory, potentially into a starport, potentially, or already quite an aggressive build here from Nickeract. And can he catch Nightmare off guard? Nightmare back at home, going for a gate expand setup as well. Meanwhile, if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on how you think this series will unfold, on who you believe will advance on into the grand finals. It is up to you. It is up to you to decide. Best of luck. Predictions open. go. Yeah, predictions are going to be open here, so you can place your bets in the chats. Meanwhile, there's that factory that we spoke about. Factory is thrown down quite far back, actually. I'm very interested to see what is made or how we do make use of this. Clearly, we're not going to be going for an add-on swap. At least it's going to be a little bit too far away for bringing that together. As Nickcraft, he's ready for his expansion on the low ground. It's not going to be a one-base all-in. We are taking that expansion. Meanwhile, Zealot moves that across the map, but we have the Reaper in position, and we do shut it down. Very nice kiting here at Nickcraft. Does get a lot of damage done, but here comes that Stalker. And Nickcraft, ooh, does pull back in time. Does manage to pull back. Nightmare moving forward here now with the Stalker. Forced to pull the boys. Is going to be threatening that natural expansion. Ooh, one SCV goes down. We got two. Two SCVs are going to be targeted. But really nice kiting here. Really nice movement from Nickcraft, trying to make things a little bit more awkward. Reaper does fall. These Stalkers are getting out of hand. We already got two SCVs. We get a third. A third SCV, and this CC on the low ground, it's not going to finish. A brutal pickup. Man Center is going to be delayed. You can see Nickcraft trying to bring everything forward here, waiting for another wave of reinforcements. But another Stalker rocks up. We focus down the Reaper. We can focus down the SCVs. Oh, and this is becoming too much. Already, 5 workers have fallen. We got another one of these Hellions, and another Hellion going to be going down as well. Nightmare snowballing out of control. Finally, another Stalker goes down to the Marines. And Nickcraft is finally going to be able to hold on. But not without losing, what is that? 6 workers in total, 2 Hellions, 3 Reapers. And back at home, now we're taking up, going for a Robo first. Okay. Robo opener here, out of Nightmare. Getting into his second and now third gateway. Prism is on the way. Nightmare, he is not stopping with his aggression at all. With that War Prism, we're going to be moving out across time with everything we have. That's something that I was not quite expecting. Here we go. Nightmare is going to be reinforcing once again with more Stalkers. As I did mention, with this Warp Prism, with this 3 gates, we're looking to overwhelm. And what do we have to defend? We have a handful of Marines. They are vanilla Marines, no stim, no combat shields, no upgrades. Marines are falling one after the other. Tank volley goes off. Boys are being pulled. With the help of this tank, it looks like we will hold. Second tank shot as well. Big volleys here on the army. But here come the Zealots. And their goal, I imagine, to land on that tank. We do have that Banshee. It was a 1-1-1 into our Banshee first. No cloak. But we bypass the ramp. We go straight for the main base. There's one tank. There's one tank here on the high ground. Clutch repair. But it's not enough. The tank goes down. Nightmare, he overwhelms. Brings down the tank. Focuses down the Banshee. Banshee falls. Nickcraft is holding though. Is barely holding on. He's got 1 tank. He's got 1 Marine. Oh, the Stalkers are so low. We get 1, we get 2. Good pickoffs out of Nickcraft. He's holding. As Nickcraft is barely holding on, we do see Nightmare expanding across the map. Taking his third. Does take his third base, does take an economic lead. And it's still just applying more pressure, keeping Nickcraft on the back foot. Just unrelenting here at a Nightmare. Just absolutely unrelenting as we dive on the tank. The tank on siege! For one moment, the tank did unsiege, and the tank goes down, but another does come out just in time. And the problem here is that even though Nickrack, he's surviving, even though he's cleaning up this army, which he is doing, he's losing too much. How many tanks fell? 2 tanks. 2 tanks went down, and this is going to be a big delay here for the eventual push of Nickrack. Now he's going for it as add-on swap into stim, into combat shields, into a higher tank count. I mean, we're already switching out of the tech lab, so no more tanks for Nickrack. And Nightmare, he's free to just expand, to tech up, to do whatever he wants. He hasn't taken additional gas geysers. He did go for a Twilight Council, I believe. Yep, charge is done, and we're moving out with mass charge lots. Again, even though the first prison went down, we immediately rebuilt. And Nightmare, he's back. He's back with a vengeance, with mass charge lots. And a sentry. He can try to go for the force field. Slipping into the main base. Nickrack does spot this. But does he react? He does. Big warp into the main base. They'll say, get on top of the tank on the low ground. We push into the main. Just a massive wave of zealots here. And we cannot hold on. GG gets called. Nightmare takes game number 1. Ooh. GG. GG, well played. Sorry, I'm just trying to fix up my hotkeys here. And hopefully that does fix things. Hopefully everything's okay as we're getting ready for game number 2. We are getting ready for that second game. And Nightmare does come out ahead. I mean, he was able to punish the... I was going to say punish the greed, but just really be hyper aggressive here and make it worth his while in the end. He got so much damage done, killing workers, killing marines, killing reapers, hellions, tanks. Nightmare just refused to back off, refused to give Nickrack any room to breathe. But on the other side of things, on the flip side of things, like, a big reason why that was so effective is because of the map, is because of Ghost River. It does have the shortest rush distance map in the map pool. It's insanely aggressive. And I'm sure it did not help Nickrack to go up against that. But here we go. We're getting into our next game. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Site Delta, we have our Red Terran player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Nickrack. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing himself, currently teamless, deserving to be on the team. It is Nightmare. And sorry, I'm just trying to fix up some of these hotkeys. Hotkeys were messed up earlier. Do I have... Where's scroll? Observer. It shouldn't be on replay, right? Not on replay. Ah. Camera? Yeah. Here we go. Should be on camera. But yeah, I'll try to fix up the hotkeys later on. Will do my best. As we do see across the map, SCV already going to be going down to the probe. Aye, aye, aye. Not like this. SCV is going to get picked off. Actually, wait, hold on. Yeah, this should be my hotkey setup. Okay, do my best. Do my best. Unfortunately, I'm not too certain how to zoom at the moment, so I won't be able to zoom out like I usually do. Just working with what I have. We'll try to fix that during the break later on. For now, though, we do have a much more economic opener once again from Nickrack going for a Rax expand. He was a little bit delayed, a little bit disrupted earlier on, losing an SCV, but thankfully it's only that. Meanwhile, we do see Nightmare going for an Adept first. This time there's no Zealot first into Stalker, there's no piling on of aggression, because the rush distance by ground is a lot longer on this map. It is a lot longer. So we don't have to worry about that at least. And it is going to be a Stargate opener this time from Nightmare, not a Robo. With a Stargate that we should be leading into either Phoenixes or Oracles. Either or. See what Nightmare does commit to. Reaper is going to be shut down. And that is before Nickrat gets into the main base, by the way. No scout into the main, no eyes on the tech. We are going for a safety Cyclone. Thankfully, with the help of this Cyclone, we should be able to be in position to defend against the Oracle, assuming it's an Oracle first. But no, it's going to be a Phoenix. Phoenixes are on the way. First Adept is moving out. Does hit that natural. Marines are in position, but do get a hit in. Yeah, that does shut down one of the Marines and is going to get the second Marine as well, but the Cyclone comes out just in time. One to death for 2 Marines, but thankfully we do deal with it. We do shut it down. And we are just building our Phoenixes back at home. Now this should be the beginning of Phoenix Colossus from the side of Nightmare. Should be the beginning. 2 more gates get thrown down as well. Interesting, 3 gates in total. Gates in total. We do knock down the rocks at least across the map. We look down the rocks, just trying to set up, just trying to make sure we can freely move between our 2 bases. Behind this, a 1-1 on opener. Fun fact, this is a very similar build to what Nickrat went for in the previous game. I say similar because this time he didn't commit into Hellion Reaper, but he is once again going into a Banshee. Singular Banshee, no cloak. The tank count is building up. As a reminder, we didn't see the tech. We don't know that we're building up Stalkers. We don't know that we're not building up Stalkers, that it's Phoenixes. Nickrat is still unaware of whether or not it's Blink or not. Nickrat is unaware. Nightmare moving out with his harassing force. Oh, with 4 Phoenixes, we can pick up those tanks, by the way. And Nickrat, he's pushing, he's going for a 2-base all-in. The 2-base all-in does move out. Nightmare does come across it. But what a way to encounter the all-in. As we're not quite able to slow it down. We shade across the map. More SCVs going to be going down, but they just get pulled. They just get pulled across. And what do we have to work with? Shield batteries on the way. 2 of them. Additional pylons don't get supply blocked. Stalkers are amassing. Immortals on the way. We focus down the Banshee. Big pick off. Banshee does fall. We recall the Adepts. And we're here in position for the all-in. Tanks, they do siege, but they get lifted. Up. We do lift them both up. The target firing not good enough. But the tanks are kept alive. The SCVs, they went ham. They keep the tanks alive just barely. And is it enough? The Immortal doing what it can within range of the shield battery. But the Immortal does get targeted. And Nightmare, he holds. He cleans up what little is left here. Cleans up every SCV. He gets on top of the tank. Finally brings it down. That was close. For a while there, Nickrat was not being dealt with. But Nightmare, he breaks through. He snowballs out of control, shuts down all the tanks. GG gets called, and Nightmare will take game number 2 in the series 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Nightmare for taking the series. Again, game 1 was brutal, just piling on the aggression, just not giving Nickrat any room to breathe. Here in game 2, again, Nickrat attempted the 2-base all-in, but Nightmare was able to come across it early on, was able to shut it down. Again, the Phoenixes were not scouted, weren't fully aware of what was happening, and GG, a solid game there from Nightmare. Very well done. A very fast series as well. GG, and with that, we're heading over to the land of Europa, to the land of Europe, and we're going to be diving into our next series. It is going to be a PvP. The lower semifinals is upon us. The lower semifinals is here. As a reminder, Cristiano, he was last week's champion. He did actually defeat Nightmare in the grand finals, but Can he make it to those finals this week? Again, this is going to be a brutal PvP. Cristiano versus Geralt, the two best Protoss in Poland. They are going to be facing off. They are going to be facing off in our next series. As a reminder, before the grand finals, we also have... Before the grand finals, we also have a raffle. We have a random raffle to conduct as well. We will be getting on that momentarily. We are just going to be setting things up on our end, and before those finals, we can get that raffle underway. If you're curious, what raffle are you referring to? Well, there is a participation raffle. All the players that partook here, that participated in today's tournament, are eligible for 5 USD. We just, kind of roll the dice. We pick a name out of the hat, and one of these players will walk away $5 richer. Not the biggest surprises, but something nice that we have to spread the love and to even give a little bit of prize money to those that didn't make a deep run here. Again, this tournament is very top heavy. It's top 2. First and second place do walk away with some prize money. We don't really have the funds to extend that, but we do at least have a random raffle just to spread the love. And yeah, that's what we're going to be hosting before those finals. Until then, though, it looks like we need a moment for our players to get ready. They're asking for a couple of minutes here, so we're going to be going on a short break. When we return, we will have those lower semifinals. We'll be back soon. Take this moment to drain your disruptors, hydrate your hydras, massage your marines, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the semifinals of Sparkling Tuna Cup number 47, our weekly open tournament that we host here on the CranKy Ducklings. And boy, oh boy, we've had a lot of PvPs here tonight, and the PvPs will not end because that is all we have left in today's tournament. We have nothing but Protoss. And the question becomes, who faces off against Nightmare, the Korean Protoss, in the grand finals? If you are in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets and best of luck. Trying to predict here who will advance on to the grand finals. I feel like it's going to be a coin flip. I imagine this is going to lead all the way to the ace match because these two players are some of the best that Europe has to offer. And here we go, spawning in the top right hand corner of Alkione, we have our red Protoss player representing Storm Gaming. Ooh, it is Geralt. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player representing Starlight Twinkle from the land of Poland as well. It is Geralt. Sorry, it is Cristiano. Let's go. Cristiano and Geralt will be facing off here tonight in this PvP. Only one can advance on into those grand finals. And there can be only one. Who exactly is it going to be? As for now, Geralt, he's going to be spreading out his probe here towards the left-hand side. He's going to be moving out. Likewise, Cristiano is checking the top left-hand corner of the map as well. And great minds, do they think alike? Are we setting up here for proxy pylons right next to each other? We are! The pylons have been thrown down. Geralt is a fake pylon. And Cristiano's is his fake as well. This is not a bad location for a proxy Stargate, is what I will say. A Stargate could be poised to send the Oracle across the map. Otherwise, it could just be fake as well. As Geralt is going in for a probe scout, it is going to be a 2-gate opener out of Geralt, a 2-gate opener out of Cristiano. And it looks like we have intentions to throw something down. It is going to be a Robo. One base all in. Cristiano, he's setting up for one base all in. And Geralt, can he deal with this? Can he keep up? Can he handle what's to come? Looking at his vision, Geralt, he has not seen the main base. Oh, this is brutal. He has not checked. Now he's going in. And now he should be able to confirm, hold up, this pylon is later than it should be. He does get behind that mineral line. Pylon does finish up. And even though he's going to be able to get eyes on 2 pylons, we should have 3. We should have 3 by now. Pylons being focused down. Geralt back at home, setting up himself with his sentry-based opener. Mining through the right-hand side, heading out here towards the right for his own proxy location. I imagine, no, never mind, he's scouting, he's looking. He's checking for a proxy. Checking this area, checking this location. And alas, the proxy robo is elsewhere. The Immortal well underway. And this is not going to be a long series, let me tell you. Okay, for now, look at our armies. We're up in Stalkers, so Cristiano, he does have additional Stalkers available. Immortal has joined the fray. We have a Prism behind this to reinforce, to juggle, to, of course, micro as well. Cristiano is pushing in. Oh. As we have arrived, the pylon's going to be shut down. We immediately force a cancel. Now Geralt realizes that he's under threat, that it's a 1-base all-in. He's going for a robo, going for a gateway of his own. He needs a little bit more time. Second pylon has been thrown down, but again, time working against Geralt right now. He's up against the wall. Oh, sorry, the time working against Cristiano right now, and Geralt is up against the wall. Can he hold? Can he survive this? Can he defend? Geralt, he needs more time to allow for this robot to get up and running, to get into his own immortal production. We're going for a sentry. Ooh, we do force a cancel. Force a cancel on that sentry. First gateway goes down. We have a second gateway finishing up though. Prism is on the way. Shield battery has finished. We have an overcharge. Go for the force field. It is baited out. It is buying time. Ooh, the Prism takes a lot of damage. Takes a lot of hits. But good target firing there to Cristiano. He does save the Immortal. But that Prism is so low. One more volley and it's going to go down. I'm sure Geralt knows that. And he's so close. And if that Prism falls, that's going to be the end of the all-in. Adepts, they're going for the sentries. They commit. They commit to the shade. Gonna try and focus him down, but a good overcharge. Immortals, they are dropped off. They focus down the shield battery. Overcharge runs out. Boys are being pulled. Another force field. Another force field barely on the ramp. Good target firing here from these Immortals. We focus on another gateway. And it looks like Cristiano, he may just have too much. We're down to one Stalker and two Adepts. Yeah, we're breaking through. We're breaking in. The Immortals on the way, but it may just be too little too late as we're going for a massive warp in. And Cristiano is snowballing out of control, forcing his way into the main. And Geralt, he has nothing left. We came to the production. The defense is pylon. No! The pylon goes down. We depower the robo. Good juggling here, and nothing shoots up from Geralt. GG. Cristiano takes game number 1. Ooh. GG, Bobby. Cristiano does take the first game, and it looks like Cristiano, he wants another shot. He wants another chance here. Another opportunity against Nightmare. Remember, Cristiano, he was last week's champion. He did bring Nightmare down in a best of 5. And now Cristiano, he's one game away from potentially repeating that. But now we're getting into game number 2. Geralt is up against the wall. Again, Geralt, he's an amazing player in his own right. He is comparable in skill to Cristiano. There's a reason why I said that it's going to be hard to predict which one will come out on top. I would not be surprised if we force the ace match, if we force the game 3. The pressure is on. I want to believe, as Geralt needs your support in the chat if you want that ace match. Need your energy. Let's go. We are getting into our next game. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ghost River, we have our red Protoss player representing Psystorm Gaming. Down in this series, looking to bounce back here and now. He needs your support in the chat. It is Geralt. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player representing Starlight Twinkle. It is Cristiano. Here we go. PvP is here. PvP does continue. Cristiano, he needs one more win. I imagine we're going to be going for another 2-gate opener. I imagine we're not going to be going for a 1-base all-in again, but we'll see. We'll keep our eye on this bird. We will keep our eye on these workers. Do we commit to a proxy pylon? Or do we just throw it down as a fake? As a fake out. Geralt's moving out. So is Cristiano. The probes are on the move. They are on the move. Geralt making a beeline towards the southern portion of the map. This looks like a prime location for a fake proxy pylon. And Cristiano, he's coming in for a scout. Oh, never mind. Uh-oh. Pivots around. And where are we headed? Pylon has been thrown down again because this is pretty far away from the main base of Cristiano. This looks like a fake proxy pylon. Maybe a proxy Stargate. I could definitely see that occurring here. Cybercore still just about to finish. Still finishing up. Cristiano, he is not going for his own proxy. Scanning across the map instead. Cybercore is done. There's that Stargate that we spoke about. Now, this is not an all-in. This is a way to get ahead in the economy. Essentially, Geralt should be going for a proxy Oracle. Is going to be going for Oracles. His goal here is to kill workers and get ahead in that worker count in the economy. That's the purpose of this build. As Geralt is going to be going for a more delayed expansion. Cristiano should be the first to expand. You can see that Cristiano, he scouts. He does confirm that the pylon is missing, so he's looking. He's looking for that pylon, looking for the proxy. Skirting around the right-hand side of the map. Trying to get a read on what's going on. Same time, Adepts are moving out across the map from Geralt. There's that Oracle that we spoke about in production as well. This could be either one proxy Oracle. We could go up to 2. Shouldn't be more than that. But again, the goal is to cripple the economy of Cristiano. Cristiano, he does catch the Adepts. Does focus one of them down. Ooh, does get one as well. Good pick up. Good pick up by Cristiano, and he does find the second Adept. Now, as the Adepts are falling, bearing in mind that all the Stalkers are busy out here, which means what do you have in the main? Nothing. Shield Battery does finish in time, though. Oracle moves out. And Cristiano, he does spot it coming in for the intercept. Ooh, but he barely misses. Does miss the Oracle, gets into the main base, going for the stasis. No, never mind. we're just chilling, parked over that base, waiting for the second Oracle to arrive. There it is, stasis trap in the main base. Cristiano, he does pull back in time. Ooh, only pulls back a portion of his force though. A portion of his army. The probes, they do get stasis, and at the same time, Cristiano, he dives into the main base. Gets a trades 1 for 1. Not the best trade for Cristiano. 2 for 1, okay, a little bit better. What was that? 7 probes. And we force a recall. Not worth it for Cristiano. Bearing in mind, there are now 2 Oracles on the field. Now, bearing in mind that Cristiano is able to saturate his natural base a lot faster, but we got plenty of Oracles. They're going to be threatening. Taking a bit of hull damage. Just a bit. Likewise, Oracles once again pivoting here in towards that main. Taking some extra hits. Behind this, we're taking up into Blink. Blink is on the way for both Geralt and Cristiano. Throwing down additional gateways. It's Cristiano the first to expand, though. The first to take his third. Likewise, Cristiano, he's down a gateway as well. As Geralt, he's getting up to 3 gateways. And Geralt has the option right now to throw down a 4th gateway, but no, it's going to be the 3rd base. So we're getting into the mid game. Getting into a longer game here. Let's go. Into a longer game, throwing out some stasis traps, trying to catch out Cristiano. Cristiano is pushing. Little does he know that there is a stasis trap set up. Oh, does he spot it? Ooh, he does. Nice bait there by Cristiano. Dives on top of the army. He gets 1, he gets 2, he gets 3. Stalkers are going down one after the other, and Geralt, he's in a lot of trouble. Suddenly, he's under fire. The stasis traps, they were not good enough. We do have the overcharge. Does barely hold on. But Cristiano did trade well. And he's going to be able to focus on these shield batteries. Another stasis is baited. We dive on top of the army for a second time, and Cristiano, he has too much. It's a numbers game at this point, and Geralt just cannot hold a candle to this army. Sentries are going down one after the other. We're going for the pylons at the same time across the map. Geralt, he does get some probe kills. Does focus down some workers here in the main base. He will be losing the 3rd base, but does that even matter? As Cristiano is pretty committed. He's pretty all in. The Immortal's on the way, by the way. It's coming out. The Immortal, it does arrive, does force back the army. Geralt, he's holding onto his natural, but again, he will lose that 3rd. Or will he? Can Geralt fight for it? No shot. There's no saving this. What a loss. Yeah, one more volley and it goes down. I believe the Immortals, yeah, the shields have been triggered. We dive on top of the Immortal. We arrive with our own. And it's just a numbers game at this point. Cristiano is up in Stalkers. He's even in Immortals. Never mind. Gonna be even in Immortals here. even in workers. I spoke too soon as we managed to get a couple more. Geralt taking a worker lead. Ooh, he bleeds out both of those oracles. And can Cristiano recover? Can he survive? Because Geralt is now forced all in. Geralt, he's going for Glaives. Glaive Adepts here for Geralt. He's going to be doubling down on Adept production. Does have a third on the way, but I'm not so certain he plans on saturating it. Geralt's hand may have just been forced. War Prism's on the way. Gateways are finishing up. Cristiano going for his 4th base alongside a Gateway Explosion. And here we go, we dive on the army. First Immortal gets focused down for both players. But Geralt, he does take a better fight, does force back Cristiano once again. Cristiano just wasn't ready for that. Was caught out with his pants down. This is still a pretty dynamic back and forth, to be honest. Cristiano, he stopped Immortal production. Cristiano, he stopped producing Immortals. He just has a Gateway army instead, going for a War Prism. Hasn't taken additional gases. The reason for this is charge lots. We're amassing charge lots as we speak. That is a way to deal with all these Immortals. As Glaives is done, probes are being targeted down. Despite the economic lead that Cristiano's had, he just had a really hard time making use of it. Bleeding out so many workers, so many probes, and Geralt fanning out his adepts once again. Behind this, we have Disruptors on the way and Dark Templar. Like, how do we bounce back into PvP? DTs and Disruptors, why not both? I was gonna say DTs or Disruptors, why not both? Adepts, they get across the map, they can focus on more probes once again. Cristiano, he can't break this. Not with this army, he needs another warp in. Does need more Zealots as he trickles in with a handful of units, bleeds out some Zealots as well. Adepts are coming in to reinforce. Cristiano, he's been bleeding out too many probes, he just didn't have the resources to warp in. Not have what he needed. Forces a defensive warp in instead. Cristiano, you can see that he wants to commit, he wants to push in, but he can't. Yeah, not anymore. He missed his window. And now Geralt, he's getting into Disruptors. And a second Robo for double Disruptor production. Recalls the prison back home. Now we're getting into a longer game. Into a game where Geralt has Disruptors and his opponent doesn't. Cristiano just trying to make this mass gateway composition work, and it would have a minute or two ago. So we go, we do see Geralt forcing Cristiano back. Does force him back in the end. Again, he's making 2 Disruptors at a time. Cristiano now is teching, but this tech is so late. It's just such a late tech switch here from our Blue Protoss player. Just now getting to a second Robo. There we go, a third Robo on the way. We have to make up for just our lack of Disruptors. This does make sense. Triple Robo production from Cristiano. But can he survive long enough to make use of that? Can he survive long enough to make any Disruptors? Never goes up. Ooh, big connection. We do focus down barely the other Disruptor. That was almost disastrous for Cristiano. Rotates around at the same time. Geralt going for some DT harass. 4th base is denied, but the DTs, they go straight for the cannon. And the cannon, it's going to be going down. We have the overcharge, but it's not enough. Ooh, another Nova connects. Again, you can see the pendulum swing heavily here in favor of Geralt. As Disruptors, they do outscale Cristiano here. 12 probes went down in the blink of an eye. Again, even though Cristiano, he's been up in bases, it doesn't even matter. Carroll taking a lead in the economy. More DTs coming in. There is no cannon to defend. 14 probes go down, and Cristiano is being pulled apart completely. And I have to give the edge here to Geralt. Now, Cristiano is making disruptors, and they are arriving. We have 3 disruptors being made at a time, so he can take a fight, definitely. Like, Cristiano, he's not out of this by any means. It's more that Geralt has clawed his way back in. Despite how dire the situation was, despite how far behind he was, Geralt, he's in this. Taking a 4th base, amassing more disruptors. Here we go. Jesus, how many disruptors is this? 8 disruptors! Oh my god. Against 7. Yeah, it's all about those Novas, all about those balls. Speaking of, Novas go up. Ooh. Cristiano bleeding out 1 disruptor already. Not the best start. DT gets across the map. Oof. Depower some of these gateways, wreaking havoc. More disruptors are exposed! Not like this. We get 1, we get 2. 3 disruptors go down. Big pickoffs. Big pickoffs in favor of Geralt. Again, Cristiano, he had 7 disruptors. Now he's down to 3. Again, Geralt, that much more attentive with his army. Cristiano up to 5 disruptors. 2 more just swapped out against 7. Another massive DT counterattack, and yeah, we're going to be able to blink in and focus on the base. There's no saving this. I mean, I say that Cristiano does turn back around, does have detection in position. Can he save it? It's going to be close. Oh, the answer is no. He cannot save the Nexus. It does get targeted down. Geralt, he knows how to Protoss Slappy. Dark Templar, Disruptors, Wave Adepts. He knows. Prism finally goes down. Cristiano does have a backup 4th base on the way. Armies are posturing. DTs, they come in once again. They get a lot of damage done on that base. They don't focus it down, but does lose all of its shields. There it is, another wave of Dark Templar on the way. Cristiano trying to go into a Skytoss transition. Once again, Cristiano coming out worse for wear in that trade. More Novas connecting in favor of Geralt. He's up to 11 disruptors. He's got double the disruptor count. Jesus. And the DT harasser just doesn't stop, and it looks like he can try to finish off this base. Nexus is going to be going down. And Cristiano just cannot expand. Meanwhile, big big Adept counterattack, shading into the main. We should be able to defend. As I say that, Stalkers are being targeted down one after the other. Yeah, really nice harassment there. Meanwhile, the Disruptors are not caught out. Almost. It was tempting. It was tempting to try and dive on this, but there are just so many Disruptors. Adepts, they keep shading in. 5 probes go down. DTs, they get into a mineral line. Another mineral line falls as well. And GG gets called. We don't even get a final fight, so the writing was on the wall, and Geralt will have the series 1-1. GG. GG, well played. Ooh, Geralt forcing that ace match. Things looking dire for him initially. Bleeding out of base, losing workers, but again, he was able to stabilize here by rushing into Dark Templar and Disruptors and making beautiful use of them. Just overwhelming and overcoming Cristiano. Very well done. GG, well played. We're going to the ace match. are going to the ace match here. As here we go, we're getting into game number 3. It's going to be on Dynasty. Let's go. Dynasty is going to be our next map. It's where it all ends. Where it all comes to an end here. Who will advance on to face up against Nightmare? It can only be one. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Dynasty, we have our red Protoss player representing Starlight Twinkle. It is Cristiano. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player representing Storm Gaming, bouncing back in that last game, forcing the ace match. Can he go the distance? Can he go all the way? It is Geralt. Go. As we are going to be settling into game number 3, and again we've had two pretty back and forth games so far. Very dynamic series. And this could still go either way. Could still go the way of Cristiano or Geralt. But now it's going to be a 2-gate. Nope, my apologies. It's going to be, yeah, okay, 2-gate openers from Geralt, 2-gate opener out of Cristiano. We spoke about this in the previous series earlier today when we were loading into Dynasty. We spoke about this goal base and how the goal base is a bit of a bait. Very often here in the PvP matchup. Oh, we do get a bit of a pause. But very often in this matchup, we do avoid that natural just because it can be abused so hard, so easily. So players are typically expanding here towards that natural location. As it looks like, oh, we have a bit of a pause, we have a bit of an issue, but it looks like Cristiano, he's good to come back in. And as soon as our players are ready, we can resume. I'm not a ref, Papi. I can't do anything. But yeah, we'll see how this story ends. Now, Cristiano, he does have a probe out on the map. Bear that in mind, so I'm curious if we're going to make use of that. Oh, here we go. Oh god. I'm not a, there we go. I was gonna say I'm not a ref, so I can't do anything, but there we go. Players are jumping in. And we have Cristiano again scouring the map as we speak. Not a bad location for a proxy pylon, and there it is. Pylon has been thrown down in the center of the map. This is a prime location for a proxy robo for a 1-base all-in. We are primed for it. And here we go. So we're just waiting for the Cybercore to finish up. Cybercore is now done. And Cristiano, show us what you got. There it is. There's the robo. 1-base all-in out of our red Protoss player. Meanwhile, Cristiano, back at home, going for a sentry-based opener. This will give him a hallucination, but will he come across
Your probes are under
the proxy? Does come with the probe, does confirm that the pylon is missing. He does know. Oof. Trading 1 for 1. Geralt, he checks the main base, checks the pocket, just in case. Hasn't seen much more than that. And we saw that Cristiano did take the first game off of an all-in as well. There we go. Geralt poised to expand, going for a safety robo first. Very wise move here out of Geralt. Very safe play. Going for the robo, followed by the expansion. Probe is moving out on the right-hand side. Try to get a read on what's going on. Cristiano is pushing in. And it's going to be Immortal first. Immortal first by Cristiano. We throw down a pylon across the map. This is a really risky move, a really bold move is maybe a better way of putting it. Basically, Geralt can reinforce across the map by going for some adepts to harass right into the main base to punish an all-in. If he has some free warp wins, he can make use of it. Here we go, the army has arrived. Yeah, Geralt forced to cancel the natural. But we have a sentry, we have a force field. Shield battery's been thrown down. Third gateway as well. So far, good responses by Geralt. And again, he has his pylon set up. Cristiano, he does find it. Does get the pylon. He's aware. War Prism has arrived. We have high ground vision. We're going for the gateways. The Prism takes a lot of hits. Takes a lot of hits already. And the first Immortal has already arrived. And Geralt with a much stronger reaction this time. He catch. Oh my god. The Prism. Prism gets so low. Barely escapes. The Immortal is saved. As Geralt forces back the army, but Cristiano doesn't really lose anything. You can see here we've only lost workers, only probes. But this army is so low. It looks like Cristiano, yeah, is going to shut down this pylon first. He knows that Geralt has some breathing room. Adepts get in. Cristiano, he already walled off fully. And we're going to focus on the pylon. We collapse on the adepts as well. And Cristiano is still committed to the all-in, going for a third gateway. Let's say third, sorry, going for a fourth gateway even. Adepts are cleaned up. Geralt's, before he goes for the expansion, we have a bay. The bay is going to be for disruptors. Or Colossi, technically. Disruptors are going to be available. Geralt's looking to expand. Throwing down his shield battery. He is going to be exposing himself by pushing out here towards the low ground. Cristiano is still all in, and he's hoping to throw in a force field. His ideal is to cut up the army, force field the ramp, and to keep it locked down. Go Cristiano, he wants to commit, but force fields are too good. Force fields are a little bit too good. Yeah, we force a cancel, and Geralt, he gets away. Does get up the ramp. Gateway's going to be going down. And we get a lot of hits in. Stalker does fall, but now we're up to 2 Immortals. We have the Disruptor that's about to come out as well. It feels like Cristiano is running out of time. Feels like we're running out of time here. Ooh. We barely do get a Stalker. Geralt looking to flank with that Disruptor. We have a Nova ready. We do have a Nova in the chamber. Second Disruptor on the way. Nova goes up. Up. Ooh. Clutch pick up there. We do save most of our units. Now we're going to be engaging. Oh, we take down an Immortal. Big pick up by Cristiano. Gets an Immortal. Gets a gateway. Forces way up the ramp. Overcharge is popped. And Cristiano, with that overcharge, we have to respect it. We have to back up. Nova zoning back the army. Doesn't get a kill. Doesn't manage to get a kill. Once again, another force field. Adepts say shade in. They're going for the sentries. They're going for the disruptors even. They focus one of them down. There's one more disruptor left. We focus it down as well. And Cristiano looks like he has done it. Forces his way up the ramp. Gets every disruptor. Camps in production. GG. The misclick is real. Feels bad, man. And Cristiano will take the series at 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Brutal misclick there from Geralt. Unfortunately, his Novas weren't able to go off. He wasn't able to save his Disruptor or save the Immortal as well. I think that's what he's referring to when he missed his pickup when it came to saving his Immortal and saving some of his units. And alas, with that, Cristiano takes the series 2-1. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Cristiano. Oh. He does take the series, and he will make it to the grand finals once again 2 weeks in a row, and this is a rematch. I mentioned before, if you weren't here last week, then you missed out, but last week it was a best of 5 grand finals between Cristiano and Nightmare, and lo and behold, the same matchup once again. It is the same matchup. Once again, it's going to be Nightmare versus Cristiano. Now, as a reminder, last week, Cristiano won. Cristiano, he was our champion. He did defeat Nightmare in a best of 5. It went all the way to the ace match, but he did it, and it was very impressive. It was very clutch, went the distance. Cristiano, he was able to overcome the might, the titan that is Nightmare. Did bring him down, did bring him to his knees. Can he do it again, or was it a one-off? That's the question. Can it be done again? As we can take a moment here before the grand finals to set up for a raffle. Exclamation mark B. Exclamation mark B in the chat. If you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves, and we can delve into this raffle now. This is something special that we have for our tournament, for our event. Huh. Oh, that is not this week's champion. Hold on, I'm gonna have to refresh. That is actually for MSO, I believe. Sorry, yeah, that's for MSO. That was our MSO random raffle champion. That was Holo Ghost. That was, of course, yesterday. But here we go. This week we have 17 eligible players for this random raffle. 5 USD will go to any one of these players. It can go to a player that got knocked out in the first round, like Azura. Azura got knocked out in the first round. Honmono got knocked out in the first round. Could go to them. Could even go to a finalist like Cristiano or like Nightmare as well. Could go to anyone. And here we go. Let's get that random raffle going. Un momento. Okay, from the top. Hold on. Do I have a drum? And this week, the random raffle winner is... Oh my god, congratulations to the... Eva, papi. Eva is going to be this week's random raffle champion. This week's random raffle winner. Congratulations to Eva! Exclamation mark rigged in the chat, because of course it's rigged, papi, of course. Kappa, papi, kappa. Shout out to the runner-ups. There's Dave Latos, there's Geralt, Hatsul, Droptomos, and Kerwin. They barely did not make the cuts, but Eva, our resident Protoss player, sometimes a Zerg, but did compete today as Protoss. Shaking my head, shaking my head. He is going to be walking away $5 richer. So congratulations to Eva. Again, we always appreciate seeing him. He always does make a show out of it, as Eva is always off racing whenever he can, and he's an animal. He is an animal, can confirm. But congratulations to Eva. And we are now getting ready for the grand finals. Well played. We're going to be going on a short break. When we return, we will have our grand finals. It's going to be a best of 5 between Cristiano and Nightmare, a rematch of last week. Wish them both the best of luck. I'll be getting those predictions ready, and I'm sure it's going to be a banger of a PvP. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the grand finals of Sparkling Tuna Cup number 47. It's been a pretty intense day of StarCraft here. A lot of ace matches, even a couple of upsets as well. And now we find ourselves in the grand finals with 2 players remaining. And I'm getting some deja vu. The same 2 players that were here a week ago. It is a rematch of STC, the 46 finals. And now we're back, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, the favorite player in this entire tournament. Can he be stopped? Can he be slowed down? It is Nightmare. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Polish Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Starlight Twinkle, last week's Sparkling Tuna Cup champion. It is Cristiano. And if you are in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you believe is going to be this week's champion. Is history going to repeat itself? Is Cristiano going to be able to pull it off once again? Or is Nightmare going to get his revenge? Is he going to bring it back and claim that Tuna Cup for himself? Oh boy. Here we go. Predictions open. These predictions are open. You have a couple of minutes to place those bets, so get them in while you can. Meanwhile, we're getting into our openers. It's going to be a 2-gate opener out of Cristiano here on the left-hand side. He'll be going for his own 2-gate opener. Likewise, Nightmare going for a 2-gate... No, never mind. Okay, 2-gate opener out of Cristiano, a gate expand out of Nightmare. And Cristiano, he's going for a proxy pilot, and he's looking to punish the greed here of his opponent. Has no idea what's going on, but honestly, an all-in would work wonders for Cristiano. The reason why is because Nightmare is cutting corners. Nightmare, he's going for a single gateway into a more greedy economic build. Nightmare is looking to expand. He's looking to expand here on the low ground. Did go double gas, so this could even lead into a Stargate before Nexus. But we're going for the Nexus. Nightmare, he has the money for it. He has that 400 minerals, and he will throw down that Nexus. Very greedy build here out of Nightmare. And here comes the all-in. Robo has been thrown down, and Cristiano, he's coming. Now, Nightmare does confirm that there is a pylon missing, so he knows it's somewhere on the map. He's looking. He's scouting for that pylon, moves out with a Zealot, checking these triangular third base locations, scouring the right-hand side as well with that probe. And if he goes up this ramp, that Zealot is going to be able to get on top of that pylon. We're going. We are going to be checking here. Very fortunate for Nightmare. He's looking for the proxy. He does come across it, and he will get on top of that pylon. Pylon is under fire. Stalkers are on the way. With these 2 Stalkers, Cristiano should be able to hold on. He should be able to save this location. It's going to be close, though. Second pylon on the way, just in case. We're chasing down the Zealot. At the same time, Nightmare, he only has sentries to work with. He's staying back at home. But Nightmare, he does confirm the all-in. Zealot is going to go full, is going to fall, is going to go down. We have a safety shield battery here on the low ground. We have a Robo first out of Nightmare. Immortals on the way. So far, good setup. We have a shield battery, we have an overcharge, we have sentries, we have an Immortal on the way. Everything looking solid here for Nightmare. Meanwhile, Cristiano, he went for a Prism first, and he's going for the main. He's diving into that main base, going for the mineral line. And he does get in. 2 adepts, they one-shot probes. And Nightmare's economy is going to be crippled. A lot of lost mining time. 0 mining in the main base. 1 probe goes down. And we try to chase them down, but they do pull back in time. Going back to mining. Prism gets forced back. 1 adept is going to get targeted. Up. Barely it does fall. And Cristiano bleeds out an adept. Behind this, we have a 3rd gateway, so pretty hefty amount of production available here. Immortal has arrived. Losing 1 adept is brutal. And I'm not so certain that Cristiano can take a head-on fight. He's going for it. Ooh, takes a hit to the face though. Does take an extra hit to the face. We dive on top of the armor. We try to. We do get away. Force fields are thrown down. Good juggling out of Cristiano. Does save his army. Does at least save the army. Nightmare on that ramp. He's now up to 2 Immortals. Has those 2 Immortals ready to go. Cristiano going for a drop into the main. We're in position. And Nightmare, he rotates around. He does keep up. Leads out one Stalker, but only one. And again, the longer this goes on, the better it is for Nightmare. We're up to 3 Immortals, though. And we're going to try and focus down. We get the Shield Battery. No overcharge. No overcharge available so far. Decent juggling here at a Cristiano. Does bleed out an Adept. Does bleed out a Sentry. We need that Prism. Get that War Prism in there. As we focus out one of the Immortals, and it looks like Cristiano, he's breaking through. He overwhelms. GG gets called, and Cristiano takes game number 1. Whew. GG. Let's go. Cristiano, he does take the first game. And we are one step closer to pulling off that upset 2 weeks in a row. We are so close. Can we go the distance? Can we go all the way? As a reminder, this is still best of 5. Still best of 5. And last week, this went all the way to game 5. It went all the way to the ace match. Oh boy. Would not be surprised if that happens again. So getting into Side Delta as game 2. Getting into game number 2, and you can hear the beeps. The lobby has been made. Oh boy. Now again, the stars aligned for Cristiano. Remember, for Cristiano to go for a 1-base all-in, specifically against the build of Nightmare, that was ideal, but now we're getting to Side Delta. This is a very unique map for PvP. Very unique. The reason for this is because there's a ramp leading into the natural, which means we have a much more, again, natural setup here to defend. We can use the features, the terrain of the map to our advantage to be a little bit greedier here in a PvP, but we'll get into it. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Side Delta, we have the red Protoss player from the land of South Korea. Down in this series, down in this best of 5, but it is a best of 5, plenty of opportunity to bounce back. It is Nightmare. And as we get ready for our second introduction, a big shout out to Sort of in the chat. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Welcome everyone. Welcome to the grand finals of Sparkling Tuna Cup. This is our weekly open tournament where players from Europe, from Southeast Asia, from Latin America, and from South Korea all clash here in our open bracket. And we've reached the grand finals. And this player here in the top left is leading this series 1-0, representing Starlight Twinkle, the Polish Protoss. It is Cristiano. Here we go. Now, if you're maybe tuning in for the first time, and if you are unaware of the history here between these two players, obviously Nightmare, he's an amazing Protoss player in Korea. He has some of the best PvP in all of Korea. We've seen him bring down Hero, Classic, Creator. PvP is where Nightmare thrives. But this is a rematch. This is a weekly tournament, and last week, it was Cristiano and Nightmare in the finals. These two players, they faced off in the finals. It went all the way to game 5, all the way to the ace match, and Cristiano won. He was last week's Tuna Cup champion. This week, though, Nightmare, he wants his revenge, but he stumbles out of the gate, and Cristiano is going for another proxy. Let's go. Now, I spoke about how this map is very different in PvP. The reason for this is because we have a ramp leading into the natural, so gate expands are a lot more common. And once again, Nightmare is setting up for a gate expand. Zealot first, one gateway into the Cybercore, into a Nexus. Greedy opener here, economic opener, maybe a better way of putting it, from Nightmare. Cristiano, 1-base all-in. Proxy Robo, 2 games in a row. Cristiano's going for the 1-base all-in. Probe does miss the proxy. Nightmare is going in for the Probe Scout. He's going in, and once he does, he will confirm that a pylon is missing, but is that going to be enough of a tell? He's looking. His Zealot is out. He's looking for any kind of proxy, any kind of shenanigans. It is going to be a Stargate before Nexus this time. It was double gas here from Nightmare, so a bit of a safer build. Ooh, going for a second gateway. Nightmare. Okay, I assumed that he was going to be a little bit more economic and greedy, but no, he's respecting his opponent. He recognizes his folly or his weaknesses in game number 1, and he's taking Cristiano seriously. Oracle first. Bold move. Is going to be an Oracle first. Adepts, they do shade in. They focus on one of the Adepts. Behind this, Nightmare is expanding, but remember, Nightmare did go for that Stargate first, where he has access to a Void Ray. It is going to be an Oracle to begin with. And Cristiano, he has yet to throw down the third gateway. Still only on 2. Prism first. There we go, an Immortal thereafter. And with our initial Prism, we have 4 Adepts. We're going for the main base. We're looking for economic damage. At the same time, Oracle gets across the map. Do we have anything to defend? We don't! No shield battery, 1 Stalker, and now 2, just in time. As the Adepts, they get into the main base. Probes are going down. At the same time, the Oracle tries to go in, but we are in position. Hopefully, as we're following a probe, there we go. We can focus them down, and that's going to be 13 dead workers across the map. And that's game-ending damage. That's far too much. 13, 14, 15 probes go down. Nightmare caught with his pants down, completely out of position, and we are just annihilating that mineral line. There's nothing left. We're down to 1 probe. GG gets called, and Cristiano takes a 2-0 lead in this series. He's 1 game away from doing it once again and bringing Nightmare down. GG. Oh my god, Papi. He's crazy. Can anyone stop this man? Nightmare was coming in as the favorite player, but Cristiano, he's popping off with 1 base all-ins, to be fair. But at the same time, again, game number 1 was Nightmare being greedy. Game number 2, Nightmare was trying to be a little bit safer this time. Unfortunately, he went Oracle first. He went across the map. The Oracle did nothing. Likewise, he was out of position with his first couple of Stalkers. He was not in his main base. He was not ready for Adepts into the main. As we mentioned, Nightmare was caught with his pants down, and with that, Cristiano's on match point. Uno mas, 1 more game, and he's going to be our back-to-back champion. Uno mas, 1 more is all he needs. Fun fact as well, I believe we were going over some stats earlier, and I believe Cristiano has finally overtaken Björn as the Sparkling Tuna. What I mean by that is, for many years, this tournament started back in 2022. This tournament series did begin, and for a very long time, Björn was our player that had the most wins under his belt, the most Sparkling Tuna Cup championships, the most gold medals, if you will, the most Sparkling Tuna Cups. Björn, he did have the most wins, but as of last week, he was finally overtaken by Cristiano. Cristiano did overtake Björn in the overall amount of Tuna Cup wins, and will he extend that lead? Will he get another under his belt? Here we go, spawning in the top left hand corner of Golden Aura, we have our red Protoss player. Down in this series, he needs your energy, he needs your support in the chat if we want a longer series. Representing himself, currently teamless, deserving to be on a team, it is Nightmare. The Korean Protoss, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the player leading the series 2-0. Uno mas, 1 more win is all he needs to be our champion this week. Back to back, can he pull it off? Representing Starlight Twinkle is the Polish Protoss, it is Cristiano. Here we go. Now, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, never fool me again. As I imagine, we're not going to be going for a proxy 3 games in a row, right? Oh, we shouldn't be, as this probe is rallied, I believe, to a proxy location. Cristiano, not again, right? Papi, not again. We are set up for a proxy pylon, at least. Are we going to commit? We're here to find out. Now, what I will say is that for the first time this series, it's a 2-gate opener. Remember, both in Game 1 and in Game 2, we had Gate into Cybercore from Nightmare. This time, 2 gateways, a much more standard, much safer build and opener from Nightmare. So, compared to every other game, he's poised and ready to defend against something crazy. There it is, once again, Proxy Robo. Nightmare, he is as best set up as he can be this time. Comes down to the execution. Again, Game 1, it was a gate expand. Game 2 was a gate cyber into Stargate into another gateway. It was a bit of a more Frankenstein of an opener in Game 2 from Nightmare. But this time, very safe. Nightmare, he does scout. He does confirm, hold up, your pylon's missing. So he knows it's a proxy. He's looking for it. He's checking for the proxy pylon. He has 1 probe on the left-hand side. He has another probe here towards the left as well. He's not checking the right. Not yet. So far unscattered. And Nightmare, he goes for a blind counter. He goes for a Robo first. So Nightmare, he hasn't seen the proxy, but because of the trend of this series, because of what happened in Game 1 and Game 2, even before he scouts, and he will confirm, he does scout the proxy robo, he already has a robo of his own, and a third gateway as well. So this is a blind counter. So Nightmare, this time he should be able to keep up. I say that, what I should emphasize instead, Nightmare has the tools to defend, but it still comes down to the execution of both players. It's going to come down to the positioning, the micro, how this all comes together. But I do like Nightmare's setup overall. Again, like, compared to all the games in this series, Nightmare, he's in his best position that he could hope to be in. Oh, Nightmare, he rotates around. Oh, as Cristiano moves out, Nightmare is moving in, and he's going for the pylon. He's going for the robo. The prism is on the way, but will it finish? As Nightmare does focus on that pylon. Cristiano, he's committed across the map. He has to go. Pylon is going to go down. The prism doesn't come out. It just barely does. Whew. We do force a recall. The Immortal has right. We can focus on the pylon. We do deep out the gateways as well. But Nightmare, he barely gets a warp in. Does warp in those two adepts. Sorry, those two sentries. Backup pylon on the way. Cristiano does have high ground vision with that prism. He can focus on the gateway. But Nightmare, he has a higher army supply overall, a higher stalker count, and his own Immortal just now pops. Or even in Immortals. And with this robot being depowered, Cristiano, where do we go from here? Do we try to transition? Do we try to pivot away? But now we're committed. For now, we are committed. Oh, good force field. We do catch a stalker. Not the biggest pick-off, but a pick-off nonetheless. Look at the units tab. You can see here, Nightmare, he does have a lead in stalkers. He gets his own War Prism. He can juggle his own units. He can micro, he can control. And yeah, there it is. Cristiano, he expands. Because of the depowered robo, because of the delays to the all-in, and because of the build of Nightmare, expanding makes sense. So Cristiano is working on that next step. Nightmare moving out with the probe to scout himself. Right now, the goal of Cristiano is no longer to kill his opponent, it's to kill this gateway and to contain. Gateway is going to be killed, and now he's just containing his opponent as best he can for as long as possible, while he expands, while Cristiano gets ahead economically. And there we go. Cristiano, he's content with the damage he dealt. He's backing off. And as it settles, I want to give the edge to Cristiano. I mean, he does have an economic lead. His natural is so much faster than that of Nightmare. And now the turn's tabled. Suddenly, Nightmare is all in. Suddenly, Nightmare, the pressure is on him to push out across the map. Does catch the robo. Robo is going to be depowered. Nightmare, he does send some units back home. He is expanding. He's not going all in. Mortal drop into the main. And focus on as many probes as possible. Doesn't get much done though. Also a little bit haphazard there. Yeah, getting one probe. But we were lacking target firing there from the Immortals. We get a Stalker, not bad. We do take some hull damage though. So it wasn't a free trade. Meanwhile, across the map, Nightmare doing the same, dropping into the main base with two Stalkers and an Immortal. And Cristiano is out of position.
The enemy.
Cristiano's out of position, but he does have an army waiting in that mineral line. So he's fine. He's gonna be able to hold on. Forces back the army. Trying to go for the warp gate. Warp prism. Weeds out some Stalkers. Force to recall back home. And Cristiano, he does enjoy himself that worker lead. He's going for extra warp-ins, pushing out across the map. Looking at the army sizes here, they're pretty comparable with each other, but Cristiano, he does have an adept lead more than anything. And Sentries is going for the prism. No! The prism! The prism barely does go down. Big pick off. The prism falls. We force a recall. We get on top of the Immortal. And we do get a lot of hull damage done. We don't get a kill. Well, that's going to hurt. And now Nightmare's in trouble. He's in a lot of trouble right now. Cristiano is coming in for his own push. He is committing. Again, the Immortal did lose its shields. We're down to 2. No prism to juggle. We catch the sentries. Very nice catch from Cristiano. Good counter force fields, but Cristiano just saved all his units. Good juggling. Bring everything back together. Pushing on forward once again. The overcharge is popped. You hold. Nightmare, he is holding on. The force fields, they take down one more adept. And another. Overcharge does run out. And you can see Cristiano, he has an overwhelming army. Because of his economic lead, that led into a larger army. We have so many adepts. We're focusing on whatever we can. We catch another immortal and another. And oh my god, I was not expecting this. But Cristiano, he's coming in, looking at 3-0. Nightmare of all players. Again, Nightmare, he has some of the best PvP in all of South Korea. GG gets called, and Cristiano will take the series 3-0, becoming our back-to-back Sparkling Tuna Cup champion. GG. Papi. Oh my god. GG, well played. Cristiano popping off not just tonight, but for the past couple of weeks, for the past couple of months. I was praising not just Cristiano, but I was praising Geralt as well. They've both been improving so much over the past couple of years from the COVID era of StarCraft. And PG, don't forget to join the Maturino page. But yeah, both Geralt and Cristiano, they've been improving so much here over the course of the past couple of months, over the past couple of years, actually. They've been climbing the ladder, the European ladder, I should say. I mentioned before that when I think of the European Protoss players, the top 3 is pretty cemented. You know, I would say that we have MaxPax is number 1, Showtime is number 2, and Skillus is number 3. Number 4 is a little bit more ambiguous. I would say that 3 players, Geralt, Cristiano, and Hearthstone, they kind of vie for that number 4 spot. For like 4, 5, and 6, you can like interchange them however you wish. I do think that Hearthstone especially has been focusing a lot more on content, a lot less on like competing and improving, and because of that, that's kind of shown a little bit in results, and we've kind of seen that in the ESL Open Cups, for example, or in the online regionals. And yeah, Cristiano and Geralt, they've both really made a name for themselves. They've both been improving so much, and these past couple of weeks, Cristiano has been getting the better of Geralt, just barely though, just barely. As a reminder, Geralt 3-0 Nightmare, sorry, Cristiano 3-0 Nightmare, but who made Cristiano bleed? Geralt, right? Geralt, he forced the ace match out of Cristiano, and that game 3 between Geralt and Cristiano was very close. That was a very close game 3 between the two of them. Could have gone either way. Could have even been Geralt in the finals. Could have been Geralt even becoming our champion this week. Could have been. Likewise, a shout out to everyone else that competed here tonight. Shout out to Nicaract as well, who competed and made it to the semifinals, the upper semis. Shout out to Eon, as Eon caused an upset, and Eon 2-0'd Hon Mono, or 2-1. Let me just double check. Yeah, Eon, he 2-0'd Hon Mono earlier, which was a big win. We had Eba flexing his Protoss. Who else made Cristiano bleed? Eba. Eba off-raced his Protoss, and Eba forced the ace match against Cristiano as well. We had Middle VK forcing an ace match out of Geralt. There were a lot of ace matches, a lot of wild series here. Even Rostock, yo, a shout out to Rostock. You can see there towards the upper portion of the bracket, forcing Nightmare to the ace match as well. So yeah, a lot of players popping off here tonight, and hope everyone in the chat enjoyed themselves as well. Do hope everyone enjoyed themselves. Sorry, I'm just messaging some of the players. GG, well played, and I'm setting out the predictions as well. Shout out to those who had faith in Cristiano, by the way. Let's go. The faith pays off. It's been years, but I'm still impressed by Geralt when he defeated Cyril at DreamHack, right? Like, that's what I mean. Like, Geralt and Cristiano, they've both been doing so well for themselves. Not just them, but there have been a lot of players that have been improving over time. Nicaract is another big one. I know that we didn't get to showcase Nicaract too much this week, and he did get knocked out here in Nicaract did get knocked out in the upper semis, but he's also been getting some really good results as of late over the past couple of months. So yeah, it's been cool to see the rate of improvement of all these players. And with that, thank you so much everyone for watching. Thank you so much everyone for tuning in. If you're unfamiliar with this tournament series, this is a weekly open tournament that we host here on the CranKy Ducklings. We bring together players from all around the world, from Europe, from Korea, from Southeast Asia, from Latin America. They all come together for the Sparkling Tuna Cup. It's amazing, it's beautiful, it's a weekly tournament, so consider hitting that follow button. And if you want to support this tournament in another way, !Matcherino in the chat. We do have a Matcherino page for this tournament. We don't have any coupon codes, unfortunately, but we do have a Matcherino so you can help boost the prize pool yourself if you wish. We're fully transparent. 100% of the money on Matcherino goes to the players, goes towards the top 2, as well as the random raffle, of course. So it's all paid out via Matcherino. Likewise, if you want to support the tournament series, if you want to support the CranKy Ducklings, you can do so via Patreon. Patreon in the chat. And you'll get a link to our Patreon page. Our Patreon is set up to fund all of our tournaments. You can see our goal just under Nightmare's name. You can see just under there. We currently do get 217 USD a month. So thank you so much. Big shout out to all of our patrons out there. Because of our patrons, we're able to fund our tournaments, so it is fully community funded, and our goal is 320 a month. And if we can reach that, then we can grow our tournaments. We can boost the prize pool to pay out top 4. Right now, these online tournaments only pay out top 2, first and second place. I would love to be able to pay out top 4. Again, it does depend on the support that we get on Patreon, though. So if you're interested, if you want to support our tournaments, then you can do so via Patreon. Otherwise, just follow us. Follow us, whether it's here on Twitch, whether it's over on YouTube. We do stream on YouTube and Twitch at the same time. And our VODs, because we're streaming on YouTube, are instantly available on YouTube as well. So if you're not really one to watch VODs on Twitch, and I don't blame you, the VOD system on Twitch is inferior to that of YouTube. We can all agree on that. The VODs are better on YouTube. So if you want to tune into some broadcasts and you can't tune in live, if you want to watch Cristiano versus Nightmare last week, the VOD is on YouTube, under the live tab. We have our VOD tab, we have our live tab. You can check out our live tab. You can see all the streams that we've been having, and you can check out that series and many others. We're live on a daily basis here on the CranKy Ducklings. Speaking of, our next broadcast is going to be tomorrow. Our next broadcast is going to be in just under 24 hours. It is going to be ESL Open Cup Asia. If one Korean wasn't enough for you, if you want some more Korean on Korean action, then ESL Open Cup Asia is the place to be. It is an online open tournament, but catered towards Korean players, and because of that, you know, we get players like Kyor, Byun, Gumiho, Dark, Solar, Shin, DRG, Hero, Classic, Nightmare as well. Nightmare, he will most likely be here tomorrow for ESL Open Cup Asia. The best of the best in Korea do face off. Basically, everyone plays, all the Koreans play in ESL Open Cup Asia, except for Maru. Maru is the only player that doesn't play in these online weeklies, similar to Serral, right, where Serral also doesn't play in the online European Opens. You know, they take their time to practice, to improve, to get ready, and to conserve their strength and prepare for these big premier events like GSL, like DreamHack Dallas, that's on the horizon. So again, that's at least what players like Serral and Maru do. Everyone else, though, they all go to town in these open cups. So yeah, we're going to be featuring them tomorrow if you're interested. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much. Another big announcement of an announcement. This week we're going to be casting the GSL qualifiers. The qualifiers were held last week, and we have our hands on the replays. If you want to support GSL, they actually give out replays to patrons. They have their own Patreon. Just like how we have our own Patreon, GSL also have their own Patreon as well. They do give out replays to patrons, and that's how we got our replays. And we're going to be casting the GSL qualifiers, I believe, on Thursday or maybe another day. We'll figure it out. We'll find a nice time to host that broadcast and to bring you those GSL qualifiers as soon as we can. So it is something to look forward to. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for the support. We do appreciate it. We're going to be heading off for the night, and enjoy the rest of your evening. There is the ESL Pro Tour currently ongoing. What's being casted right now? ESL Asia is live. They're going over Firefly versus Haas and Miyamika versus Cyan. Check out those matches. I'm sure they're having a great time. Stick around. We're going to be giving another Saka streamer a raid. We'll find someone to raid. And with that, thank you for watching. Thank you for the support. We'll see you guys next time. Bye. Bye. Hasta luego, papi. See you tomorrow. Hasta luego. Ciao.